The ice dragon race lived in an extremely secretive ice mountain cave. Chen Xiang and Huang Jintian were currently in one of the ice mountains. The ice dragon race lived in an extremely secretive ice mountain cave. Chen Xiang and Huang Jintian were currently in one of the ice mountains. Senior, according to the Green Dragon Demon-Slain Broadsword's guidance, the Emperor's tomb should be here. Where's the entrance? When Chen Xiang came in, the Green Dragon Demon-Slain Broadsword was already very restless. This is the entrance. Long De said, when I brought you in earlier, you all should have seen a very large passage. That is the direction to the Emperor's tomb. If you really want to go, we must immediately leave this place, because when you trigger the mechanisms inside, it will cause great damage to the surroundings. Is this what Senior Long Han said? Chen Xiang asked. Long Han was the Ice Dragon Grandmaster of the Ice Dragon race. Yes, only those who have obtained the approval of the Green Dragon Demon-Slain Broadsword can safely enter the Emperor's tomb, not even by accompanying them. Long De smiled with grat. 1. Tude, we have waited for you for a long time. Since you are able to come now, you must have already possessed a certain level of strength to enter the Emperor's tomb. Our mission is also complete, we can leave this place. Afterwards, Chen Xiang told Long De about some of the things that happened outside. He mentioned the ice dragon race that Long Huishan was currently leading, and suggested that the ice dragons should meet up with Long Huishan and the others. Chen Xiang did not mention that his evil dragon graveyard was about to be surrounded. The ice dragon race here had just lost a lot of clansmen. Chen Xiang did not want them to fall into war again. Long De accepted Chen Xiang's suggestion. After leaving here, he went to find Long Huishan. Right, I heard your clansmen mention that the Thunder Dragon and Fire Dragon had helpers. Could they be from the Imperial Dragon race? Chen Xiang asked. With a worried look on his face, he said, they aren't from Imperial Dragon race, they're from some places called the Heavenly Regions. There are also dragons in those heavenly regions, and a group of dragons from Imperial Dragon race went to that place back then. In the past, the dragon race was very powerful and flurries. Hi+ing, but after the Green Dragon left, it was still as powerful as before. In the end, the White Dragon bloodline was destroyed, the Jade Dragons withered, and the other old dragons of the Imperial Dragon race were able to relax and bring a group of outstanding and powerful dragons to the Heaven Realm to develop. The Emperor dragons in the 9 Heaven World are not as powerful as the ones in the Heaven Realm. Long De said, the dragon race of the Heavenly Realm should be called Heavenly Dragon Race. The Thunder Dragons and Fire Dragons they sent here should have quickly sensed your death, so you should quickly enter the Emperor's tomb. At that time, even if they can enter, I'm afraid they won't be able to do anything to you. If the Heavenly Dragon Race's base camp comes here, then we won't be able to withstand it. The ancient book left behind by the frozen dragon ancestor has told us that there is a high chance of a new dragon emperor being born in the Heaven Realm. Chen Xiang knew very well what kind of place the Heaven Realm was. The Feng Yujie he met in the sacred domain was a human emperor-level person. His strength was comparable to the 9 emperors and 5 venerables in the past, and there were new dragon emperors that had been born in the Heaven Realm. Chen Xiang was not surprised at all. Even if there isn't a new dragon emperor there, we can be sure that back then, the dragon emperor was also inside there. There are still quite a few people in the 9 emperors and 5 venerables. Huang Jintian nodded. Back then, because 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord was targeted by H.E.L. Devil Emperor, 9 emperors and 5 venerables was also worried about themselves, so they all escaped and took refuge in those heavenly realms. Dan Emperor, Fire Emperor, Ice Emperor, Dragon Emperor, Sword Emperor, Demon Emperor, Evil Emperor, Star Emperor. These are the 9 emperors of the past. Ice Emperor has confirmed his death. Ice Emperor is dead. Long De felt extremely shocked. Back then, I met him here and fought a big battle with him. Since he was injured and was no match for me, it's extremely difficult for me to kill him. Even the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord back then wasn't able to kill him. Huang Jintian looked at Chen Xiang. It was all done by this brat, but he didn't use any proper method. Chen Xiang laughed awkwardly. I was just lucky. Oh right, there are those in all 5 of 9 emperors and 5 venerables. I only know of Senior Dan, Senior Lei, and Senior Soldier. Senior Dan is the Dan Emperor and the Senior Soldier should be a divine craftsman. The remaining 2 are said to be very secretive. Huang Jintian said, this was what he had seen from the ancient book. Long Da also knew a little bit, and said, the Demon Emperor, Sword Emperor, Demon Emperor, and Star Emperor, these 4 are all neutral. Back then, they did not partake. 1p8 in the encirclement and annihilation of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, which made them semi-disabled. Although Senior Dan, Divine Craftsman, and Supreme Thunder are very strong, they are all just carefree wild cranes that don't even know if they will appear in the future. How about the Dragon Emperor? Chen Xiang asked. Is it your frozen dragon ancestor? Long Da shook his head. Dragon Emperor seems to be a woman. I am not too sure about the specifics, but it is said that she is the only woman in the 9 emperors and 5 venerables, and she is also a very ancient dragon. Just like the Azure Dragon, she is also the first ancestor dragon to be born in this world. The corner of Chen Xiang's eyebrows twitched. This was obviously Long Shui, the little naughty dragon. Could it be a white dragon? Huang Jintian said with a frown. He knew that Chen Xiang was related to a white dragon. That heavenly dragon Supreme Lord seems to be a white dragon, an ancient legend of our dragon race. Back then, when the heavens and earth were just born, many different types of dragons were born, and each type of dragon had 9 different types. Long Da replied, because of this, the White Dragon clan was the most powerful clan back then, and they ended up in a miserable state. Huang Jintian sighed. I wonder if the heavenly dragon race above the sky region will come down. You have a dragon vein, you will definitely be targeted by them. The revived D. Tian immediately possesses the power of the Holy Spirit. Looks like it will be very troublesome. If the heavenly dragon race really comes to steal your dragon fountain, there will be at least 2 fellows in the 9 emperors and 5 venerables who will have to come out to help you block it. Let's not talk about this for now. I'll go to Emperor's tomb to take a look. Chen Xiang frowned. Right now, there were a few Sky Region experts secretly assisting those great powers to attack his evil dragon graveyard, which put him under a lot of pressure. If his heavenly dragon race appeared again, he didn't know how to respond. Long Da brought Chen Xiang to the palace sage leading to the Emperor's tomb and said, after you go in, wait for a while at the entrance. Once we retreat, you will retreat through that door, and when you feel 3 consecutive tremors, we can begin. Chen Xiang nodded and walked into the pitch-black palace sage. Huang Jintian and Long Da quickly left. When Long Da brought Chen Xiang back, he told the other 6 ice dragons to gather the other tribe members and prepare to leave. Chen Xiang entered the depths of the Pastat sage and took out a night illumination pearl to illuminate the way ahead. He saw a black metal door in front of him, and in the middle of the door was a mighty lion sculpture. 10 Heavens Supreme Lord was a lion sculpture, so it wasn't strange that the door of his tomb had this sculpture. Chen Xiang entered the depths of the Pastat sage and took out a night illumination pearl to illuminate the way ahead. He saw a black metal door in front of him, and in the middle of the door was a mighty lion sculpture. 10 Heavens Supreme Lord was a lion sculpture, so it wasn't strange that the door of his tomb had this sculpture. Only the new owner of the green dragon demon-slain broadsword can enter. I wonder why 10 Heavens Supreme Lord has arranged this. Chen Xiang looked at the door carefully. He suddenly felt that some of the facilities related to the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, including the Pa-S Sage below the Yuming deep abyss that led to the core of the earth, were all constructed by divine craftsmen. When he entered the sacred domain, the teleportation station needed Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword S to activate it. From the words the Divine Feather School's leader had said, he could deduce that they had been to those heaven regions before. Seems like the relations Hi+P between the Divine Craftsman and the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord is not bad. Chen Xiang took out the hammer of God. Why did he leave behind such a precious thing? The devil-suppressing heavenly venerable was the same, the holy devil-suppressing seal and demon-suppressing pag. Oh, were both powerful things, the dagger left behind by the demon emperor, and the 2 divine swords left behind by the sword emperor. Back then, the 9 emperors and 5 venerables had almost always kept the precious weapons and treasures that he carried with him. This had always been difficult for Chen Xiang to understand. Next time, ask White Tiger. I wonder if Master and the others have recorded anything down in the ancient books of the undead race. Chen Xiang thought. He felt that there must be a reason. After all, it was all part of his hard work, and he wouldn't give up unless he had no other choice. Chen Xiang, who was patiently waiting, finally felt a slight tremble in the ground. After shaking it 3 times, this was the signal Long De gave him. Chen Xiang took a deep breath in and looked at the dignified and serious door. We can finally begin. He was also a bit afraid. The Thunder Dragon had said just now that with his current strength, he would be courting death if he were to enter. Hopefully, I can find a chance to turn the situation around here and let my dragon-subduing school pass through this difficult time. Chen Xiang rubbed his fists, then placed his palms on the gigantic iron gate and pushed it open with force. The door was very heavy. He used his divine power to open it just enough for him to walk in. It was still pitch black when he entered through the gap in the door. Not long after he entered, the door closed behind him, making his heart pound wildly. He could only continue on this path. If it was in the past, when Su Meiyao was accompanying him and helping him, he wouldn't have felt too nervous when facing such a dangerous situation. But now that he was alone, and it was the first time he had been in danger by himself, what he feared wasn't danger, but the fear of dying alone. He steadied his beating heart and took out a night pearl, wanting to illuminate the inside. But the strange thing was, although the night pearl was emitting an intense light, it was still surrounded by darkness. I'm in a completely dark space. Everything around me is pitch black. Chen Xiang thought that after going through that door, they would still be in the Iceland. He took out the Green Dragon Demon-Slain broadsword, but the Green Dragon Demon-Slain broadsword did not give him any more directions. He could only take the Night Pearl and Hi plus any a little bit of light, to ease his heart, and then he walked forward. This Emperor's tomb is truly not simple. This kind of method must definitely be made by a divine craftsman. So it turns out that the ones who brought the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's corpse here all those years ago were not only the ice dragons and super old fire beast, but also a divine craftsman. Chen Xiang was very sure that this pitch-black space was a type of formation on top of that divine book. It was the state of a profound realm. After advancing for a short while, he suddenly saw a speck of light in front of him. This caused him to be incomparably excited, and he quickened his pace to rush over. He was sure that the speck of light was the exit. This place can't even be considered a emperor's tomb. It should be a special space to protect the emperor's tomb. Chen Xiang thought. He was very close to the exit. There was a cave in front of him, but that light was not coming from the sun. He entered the cave and arrived at a wide passage constructed with Hi plus Ning white jade. It was large enough for 10 people to walk through side by side. This passage was 300 meters long, and Chen Xiang had good eyesight. When he entered the passage, he saw a white stone door, and carved on it was a white stone door, a white lion head with a mouth wide open and a control over it. He was able to insert his Green Dragon Demon-Slain broadsword in. Only by opening the door, the green dragon demon-slain broadsword could be considered to have truly entered the emperor's tomb. Chen Xiang was already a little excited. He had been in this place for so long, yet he had not encountered any danger. He felt that if he used green dragon demon-slain broadsword S to enter the emperor's tomb, it would definitely be unimpeded. This Pa-S sage was made using a few jade bricks. When Chen Xiang walked quickly towards it, he suddenly felt that he had stepped on a jade brick. C-R-A-P. Chen Xiang's heart went cold. He knew that he had stepped on a mechanism, so he immediately released his G-O-D power to cover the surroundings. It's coming. What is it? Chen Xiang was shocked. It was because something had suddenly appeared out of nowhere. What had shot towards him was a green bead. When Chen Xiang had discovered it, he had used a palm strike that had been condensed from divine power, striking the green bead that was 60 meters away from him with lightning speed. Boom! He hit the green bead, but it exploded into a powerful energy wave. Although the tunnel was S.P.A. size, it seemed extremely small to the powerful energy waves that erupted. However, the tunnel was extremely STUR-DY and it only shook slightly, not causing the slightest damage. Instead, the energy waves that exploded out struck the tunnel throughout the sky and gathered together, causing the strength to become even more frightening. What a pain in the neck! Chen Xiang stood there, unmoving, and allowed the energy waves to strike him. The profound wood diamond armor on his body had already appeared, and the dazzling black tortoise armor felt the strong attack approaching, and the light became even brighter. He was overjoyed. This was exactly what he wanted, but when he got close to the door opened and a burst of elastic force actually burst out, sending him flying back, SMAs. H.I.+ing into the energy wave and causing his body to feel like it was falling apart. The energy wave dissipated and he fell to the ground. His heavy body pressed down more jade brick. He cursed in his heart as he triggered a few more traps. This Pa-South sage was extremely street-U-R-D-Y in many ways. The intense explosion from earlier did not damage this Pa-S sage. However, a large part of the iceberg above was destroyed by the explosion, and the ground began to crack. Before Chen Xiang could dodge, his body was struck by the green beads flying towards him. A few strong explosions occurred at the same time, causing Chen Xiang to scream in pain as he spat out a mouthful of blood. He, who had been blown away by the explosion, stabilized his body after the energy wave had dissipated. He did not want himself to fall to the ground, so as to not touch any of the mechanisms again. He had suffered severe injuries just by standing at the door. He had no choice but to eat a piece of the jade dragonflower's valve and a dozen or so Buendan-s to heal his injuries. What a crazy mechanism! Those green pearls are all profound Han poison. What a crazy mechanism! Those green pearls are all profound Han poison. He was sure that these were profound Han poison-s. He looked at the jade bricks on the ground and saw that there were thousands of them, but they were still untouched. If these jade bricks were all made from mechanisms, then wouldn't that mean that there were hundreds of beast cores of holy ice frog-s here? At this time, he was extremely grateful to the devil-suppressing heavenly venerable, and had him cultivate the devil-suppressing golden body. Otherwise, even if there were profound wood diamond armor-s, his 100 lives would not be enough to die. All those holy ice frogs' beast cores have been specially refined, and will explode the moment they meet a person. Could it be that it was refined using the heavenly alchemy? Chen Xiang looked at the Pa-S sage. The creator of the Pa-S sage was definitely a divine craftsman, and the one who created the green explosive beads was the 10 Heavens' Supreme Lord. The two of them had set up this Pa-S sage together. It would be impossible if it wasn't powerful. He floated above the tunnel and returned to the area where there were no traps. He took out the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, and it emitted a green light which shone onto the jade bricks at the top, and he could see that there were some arrows on them, indicating to pass through them. Chen Xiang blamed himself for being careless. He took a few days to recover from the healing panacea and the Biuan Dan. Circulating his energy, he floated himself up and slowly approached the white door with the green dragon demon-slain broadsword in his hands. This was because there was a SHI plus ELD in front of the white stone door, which had bounced him off once before. However, the green dragon demon-slain broadsword could pierce through the protective SHI plus ELD. He aimed the green dragon demon-slain broadsword at the white lion head's mouth, and just as the tip of the blade was about to pierce through, he suddenly felt a terrifying power coming from behind him. Don't even think about going in. He had thought that his attack from a distance just now was enough to kill Chen Xiang. Unexpectedly, profound wood diamond armor suddenly appeared from Chen Xiang's body, and the powerful force that he had unleashed had assaulted Chen Xiang's body, causing Chen Xiang to insert the green dragon demon-slain broadsword completely into the mouth of the white lion head. Chen Xiang, who had just recovered from his injuries, was severely injured, and it was even more severe than before. Even his strong golden bones were shattered quite a bit, not to mention the weaker flesh, qi and meridians. He turned his head to look and saw a middle-aged man dressed in black clothes. His entire body was filled with dragon qi, and it turned out to be a very powerful thunder dragon. You actually have a profound wood diamond armor. The middle-aged man in black was filled with jealousy. A divine weapon and divine armor were both in the possession of his peers. As long as it was one of these experts, they would all be jealous. I can't let you live. The black-clothed middle-aged man roared sinisterly and threw out a palm strike. That streak of lightning was extremely thick and filled the entire passageway, like a bolt of lightning that had turned into a dragon, roaring crazily as it struck towards Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang was shocked. He immediately channeled all the strength in his body to protect himself. If this palm strike landed on him, even if he didn't die, he would still be crippled. Just as he was panicking, the white lion head suddenly flashed and turned into a white whirlpool, sucking Chen Xiang in. Boom! When the lightning dragon hit the stone, the entire tunnel only trembled slightly without any damage. At the same time, it triggered all the mechanisms here, as hundreds of green beads suddenly appeared out of thin air, surrounding the middle-aged man and exploding at the same time. After Chen Xiang was sucked into the gate, he arrived at a land. In front of the prairie there was a huge lion mountain, who looked like a fine and meticulous stone lion lying on the ground. That design of the lion mountain looked extremely similar to the 100,000 lion mountain in the 10,000 heavenly sacred mountain, but there was only one of them, and there were no trees growing on top of it. I almost died. That should have been the powerful sky dragon. Little naughty dragon didn't cause any trouble in Nine Heaven World. Could it be that she went to the sky region where heavenly dragon race is? Chen Xiang was suddenly very worried about her, because heavenly dragon race who had been developing in the heaven realm for so many years would definitely be very strong. He laid on the ground and looked at the blue sky. He realized that the clouds were all lion-shaped, and then he looked at the blazing sun, like a lion's head burning in flames. This SPAC was obviously custom-made for 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord. Just what is the relations HI plus P between a divine craftsman and a 10 Heavens Supreme Lord like this? It seems like the relations HI plus P is definitely not ordinary. Chen Xiang squinted his eyes and looked at the glaring lion head scorching sun. He suddenly felt a little afraid because this SPAC was extremely terrifying. Emperor's Tomb is indeed not ordinary. After eating 2 pieces of the jade dragon flower flap, Chen Xiang stood up with difficulty. Looking at the gigantic lion mountain, He saw that the lion head that had just been raised had a giant hole in its mouth. Chen Xiang did not dare go over immediately. He was currently covered in wounds, and needed some time to recover from them. These 2 injuries almost took his life, and with Long Shui not by his side, he had to be extremely careful, and almost died twice along the way. Master, this old lunatic must still have something that he didn't tell me. That devil-killing summit didn't mention it either. The devil-killing summit that was established beside the gates to H.E.L. L must also have some kind of enormous secret. Chen Xiang sat on the soft grass as he thought about all kinds of mysterious things. He felt that these secret things were all related. In order to prevent triggering the mechanism, Chen Xiang held onto the green dragon demon-slain broadsword the entire time, not daring to take it back. He spent 20 days to completely recover, and was glad that his own Dantian had merged with the divine senses. If not, the powerful lightning strike from the sky dragon would have destroyed his Dantian. Compared to the strong sky dragons of the realm of flame heaven, Chen Xiang was still too weak. I hope Emperor's Tomb can bring me a pleasant surprise. Chen Xiang hacked at the green dragon demon-slain broadsword and waited until daybreak before carefully walking over to the gigantic lion mountain. Their gigantic bodies could not be seen, and these huge dragons circled in the sky, blocking the sky as they constantly spat out terrifying energy along with their earth-shaking dragon roars, aiming for the huge black door. However, the huge black door did not move at all, as if it was hard to break through. Even with more than 10 sky dragons attacking together, they were unable to break through the outermost defense. This showed just how powerful the defense of the Emperor's Tomb was. If we don't break through the spatial defense outside, we will be unable to use our original body to attack inside. The inside is filled with profound Han poison S, and it will be hard for us to defend without using our original body. Then let's continue. The 10+ heavenly dragons attacked the black door again. This time they used even more power, causing a large part of the ice mountain inside the profound cold ancient realm to shatter. The entire profound cold ancient realm was enveloped by the shocking dragon's roar. Chen Xiang, who was inside the Emperor's Tomb, did not know that a group of sky dragons was attacking him from the outside. He was extremely quiet inside, and the crazy attacks from the outside could not shake the Emperor's Tomb. Chen Xiang, who was inside the Emperor's Tomb, did not know that a group of sky dragons was attacking him from the outside. He was extremely quiet inside, and the crazy attacks from the outside could not shake the Emperor's Tomb. Chen Xiang walked towards the Lion Mountain. He walked slowly, maintaining his vigilance in all directions. It was simply too quiet here. The Lion Mountain looked somewhat scary, so he had to be on guard, in case he accidentally activated some trap. This was not a very long road, but he felt that it would take a long time to walk it. When he arrived at the bottom of the Lion Mountain, he was already sweating profusely. He's actually fine. Chen Xiang turned his head to look at the path he took before. He was still in a state of shock, and he did not know why. But the closer he was, the more pressure he felt, and the harder it was for him to breathe. He was about to climb onto the lion's head and enter the Lion Mountain from its open mouth. Just in case, he did not even use a spatial travel, afraid that it would cause some movement and trigger some terrifying mechanism or attack array. After resting in place for a while and sweeping away the nervousness, Chen Xiang carefully controlled the G.O.D. power in his body and levitated himself up. He wanted to use such a gentle method to reach the lion head, but as soon as he started to levitate, he felt a huge pressure pressing down on him, plussing him down to the ground, causing him to sink into the mud. What's going on? Being struck by the strong pressure that suddenly appeared, Chen Xiang was terrified in his heart. At this time, the pressure was still on his body, so he was unable to turn around. After a while, the pressure dissipated, and Chen Xiang, who had been struggling this whole time, was finally able to sit up, gasping for breath. Just now, he was pressed down by the force, making him unable to resist, as if he was pressed down by an expert, unable to move at all. Do I have to climb up? Chen Xiang looked up at the sky. The thought of jumping in his mind had already been dispelled. However, this was only seen from Chen Xiang's current location. He planned to first circle around this lion mountain and look for any other convenient places to climb up to. Otherwise, if he wanted to climb up, he would have to suffer for a very long time. Before he could complete his detour, he saw a straight flight of stairs at the location of Lion Mountain's legs. It looked to be the top of Lion Mountain, and there were many levels of stairs, but it was nothing for Chen Xiang. He wanted to use the Heaven Tour method to explore the way, but thinking that this place was abnormal, he didn't dare to recklessly try it out, in case it led to some unnecessary disaster. He began to climb the stairs. The top 100 steps were still easy to walk on, but after passing the 100th step, his feet suddenly became very heavy. It was as if there was a huge mountain pressing down on his shoulders, making it difficult for him to move. It really isn't that simple. When Chen Xiang climbed up the 300th step, he was already panting heavily, his legs were weak, and this flight of stairs still had a long way to go. Is that all my strength can do? Chen Xiang looked down. The distance to the ground was very low, he had not walked very far, but he was still very tired. He also discovered that every 100 steps, the pressure he had to bear would increase, and he was unable to estimate how much pressure he would have to endure when he reached the top. He took a few deep breaths and then continued to tread with heavy steps up a flight of stairs. As he walked, he started to sweat profusely. 500 steps. He could no longer walk down any further. He could only sit there and rest, planning to wait for his recovery. He took out a few holy stones and quickly absorbed the pure Holy Spirit energy inside to recover the almost exhausted spirit energy. Just as he was about to start his recovery, he suddenly frowned. He sat on one of the stairs and looked down. He carefully counted the steps. He was only on the 450th step. This heaven stairway will move. Don't tell me that it won't allow me to stop and rest. Isn't this bullying too much? Chen Xiang carefully looked at the stairs, while absorbing the holy energy from the holy stone, and then a while later, indeed he saw several tens of stairs shrink into the ground in a very strange way, and he couldn't feel it at all. Looks like I can't stop. If I continue to rest, I'll return to my original spot. Chen Xiang took out a holy beast core and activated devouring magic kung fu, swallowing a large amount of pure Holy Spirit chi inside it to make up for the energy he had lost. He continued to climb the mountain, and just now he had not rested for long, as if he had ascended the 100th step for nothing, absorbing the saint force to replenish his energy, while gritting his teeth to ascend this strange lion mountain. Although the pressure was getting heavier and heavier, he could not stop, and could only desperately climb up, otherwise he would not be able to enter this lion mountain. This emperor's tomb that was specially made for this purpose had sun, moon, and stars. With each day and night, Chen Xiang left from noon all the way to night and only climbed 1,000 steps. I still don't know how many years it will take before I can go up. Isn't it just entering an emperor's tomb? Why are you tormenting people like that? Chen Xiang secretly groaned in his heart. If he knew that this was the case, he would not be coming, because his evil dragon graveyard would be surrounded soon. If he stayed here for too long, when he returned, all the yellow flower vegetables would be cold. At that time, everyone would be resisting the attack, and he would be the only one missing. He felt extremely sorry for that. If there was a way out, he might turn back right now, but after he entered this SPAC, he couldn't find a way out. His only hope was to stay in the lion's mouth, but to get there, he had to climb this heaven stairway. The gigantic lion mountain was very tall, and the white clouds floating in the sky were not even half as tall as the mountain. He roughly estimated that if one was to reach the top, This staircase had to be around 100,000 steps high. If it was an ordinary staircase, he would think that it was nothing, not to mention 100,000 or even 1,000,000, but the stairs in this place were extremely deadly. It was as if he was carrying a mountain as he climbed, and it was getting heavier and heavier. He looked at the stairs and groaned in his heart. At my current speed, who knows how many years it will take for me to reach the top? I have already been in profound cold ancient realm for 1 month, and in about 4 months, those big powers will attack my dragon fountain. At that time, maybe Sky region will join in as well. If heavenly dragon race comes, I hope they won't do anything and just run away. When he thought about the heavenly dragon race, Chen Xiang thought of the unknown Long Shui and sighed inwardly. I never thought that this little naughty dragon was really the heavenly dragon supreme lord. She will definitely be very strong in the future. If she knew, would she despise me, saying that I have to climb this ladder for hundreds of years? Chen Xiang thought about this and his heart felt uncomfortable. In his mind, he could not help but think of Long Shui's mocking words. If she knew, would she despise me, saying that I have to climb this ladder for hundreds of years? Chen Xiang thought about this and his heart felt uncomfortable. In his mind, he could not help but think of Long Shui's mocking words. You can't even climb this stairs, and you still want to be the man of the heavenly dragon supreme lord? Chen Xiang shook his head vigorously and stood up. Under the S.H.I plus any of the moonlight, he looked at the stairs in front of him and gritted his teeth as he let out a wild roar. Then, he used all his strength to walk up. My strength is not only limited to this, the mysterious soul inside the killing G.O.D. heart had once used my body to slash out such a terrifying sword strike, but I was unable to do it myself. Even now, the gap between my and that sword is huge. It can be seen that I have never been able to unleash my own strength. Chen Xiang's expression was firm. He felt that this was a very good opportunity, as this object could clearly squeeze out all the energy that he had yet to release. He firmly believed that if he could complete this heaven stairway, his strength would definitely increase by leaps and bounds, and he might even be able to defeat enemies that were stronger by a few levels. I want more power. When Chen Xiang climbed these stairs, he was no longer tired, but instead, he felt pain all over his body. Every time he climbed a step, he felt as if his body was going to split open from the pressure. It was extremely uncomfortable, but he endured the pain and endured. Previously, he was sweating, but now he was bleeding. Fortunately, he had Yulong blood S, and they were able to quickly repair his cracked skin due to the strong pressure. Even he couldn't believe it was possible for him to walk so fast. Although the whole way here was painful, as if he was going to die at any moment, he was not dead yet, and was only forcefully resisting the pressure, causing some injuries both inside and outside of his body. We have to continue, try our best to enter the Emperor's tomb in the shortest amount of time, and find a way out. Under his incomparably firm will, this lion mountain seemed so small to him. The pain on his body made him feel as if he was itching, and he firmly believed that he would be able to reach the top of the mountain in a short amount of time. The staircase was already dyed red. Chen Xiang had not rested, and the staircase did not sink into the ground either. Blood and sweat were sprinkled all over this terrifying heavenly body, making this originally very terrifying sky stairway even more strange. In this kind of frightening exhaustion and trauma, Chen Xiang had no choice but to continuously swallow blood ginseng, phoenix fruit, and blood exquisite fruit, these medicinal herbs that could mend blood and heal injuries. The more he climbed up, the stronger the pressure became, but Chen Xiang was also working even harder. No matter how much more pressure he felt, he could always maintain his speed, and even if he tried to climb up, he wouldn't let his speed slow down. His clothes had already been drenched in blood. After drying up, his clothes were melted by hot sweat, falling onto the stone steps and solidifying in the middle of the heaven stairway. It had been 11 days since Chen Xiang stepped on the stairs. At this time, the sky had just lit up, and he, covered in blood, had climbed to the top of the mountain with much difficulty. He saw the lion-head sun above the clouds currently blooming with beautiful and warm multicolored light that shone on his body, causing him to feel the pain and exhaustion in his body weakening bit by bit. "I'm finally up." Qin Xiang looked at the endless sea of clouds, plus Ning brilliantly under the sunlight like a raging flame. He sat cross-legged on a piece of flat ground, watching the lion head rise slowly into the sky, and walked forward, especially for the last 1,000 steps. Every time he climbed a step, the strong golden bones in his body would crack, but the Yulong blood was able to quickly repair it. He did not know how much his current strength had increased, but what made him happy was, the Yulong blood was that under this kind of constant and frequent recovery situation, he was able to train himself to a very fast rate of recovery. The top of Lion Mountain did not have that kind of pressure. He ate some pills, took out a few holy stones and placed them beside him. What's going on? The island was at least 10 times larger than before, and the stars in the sky were much brighter than before. He called out the 5 beast-shaped heavenly pills that were originally as big as kittens, and now that they were a size larger than before, there were 2 halos spinning around their bodies. 2 laps, this is the second cycle of the sage transformation. Qin Xiang looked at the terrifying heaven stairway. He did not expect that in just a short 10 days, he would be able to step into the second cycle of the sacred transformation. Not only did this stimulate his undeveloped powers, it also increased his cultivation by a stage. His current strength was undoubtedly a lot stronger, which made him feel that the pain he had to bear from climbing the sky stairway was worth it. After resting for a few days, he walked towards the raised head of the lion. There was a small path that led to the mouth of the lion. What's next? Suddenly had some expectations in his heart. He had benefited greatly from passing the Lion Mountain's test. Now that he was getting closer to the Emperor's tomb, he did not have much hope for the things inside the Emperor's tomb, but cared a lot about the test that made him stronger. No matter what, I will not be afraid. Qin Xiang clenched his fists and stepped onto the small path. He flipped through the rows of teeth in the lion mouth and went inside the huge mouth. Qin Xiang looked around to see if there were any mechanisms or traps in the surroundings, but he did not discover anything. He took out the night light bead and injected his energy, causing it to emit a strong light, and then walked into the tunnel. It was very quiet along the way. Qin Xiang's footsteps were light and gentle, making no sound at all. This made him feel even more terrified as he walked through this terrifyingly quiet and pitch-black tunnel. Because he was going down, he only took 2 hours to reach the bottom. Under the light of the night illumination pearl, he saw a stone door of normal size. In the middle of the stone door, there was a small lion head opening its mouth. This was also where the green dragon demon-slain broadsword was inserted into to open the door, but the green dragon demon-slain broadsword was extremely huge and was unable to be inserted. Qin Xiang could only make the green dragon demon-slain broadsword become thinner and pierce into the keyhole. With a flash of the stone door, it created a strong suction force that sucked him in, just like the time in the white tunnel. What is it this time? Qin Xiang came to a brightly lit round hall. The 4 walls of the hall were all covered with tall and thick golden stone pillars with carvings of dragons, phoenixes, lions, tigers and other huge beasts. In the middle of the main hall, there was a circle of black stone slabs filled with profound spirit grains. What is this place? Qin Xiang said to himself. He looked around, trying to find a door or something. Where I want your life, prepare to die as soon as possible. Hearing this voice, Qin Xiang was shocked in his heart. If it was another voice, he might not be so shocked, because the voice just now and the tone in which he spoke were exactly the same. Not long after the voice appeared, a person who looked exactly like him stood in front of Qin Xiang. He was dressed in black, his expression was cold, and in his hand was a long sword with a green dragon carved on it. Not long after the voice appeared, a person who looked exactly like him stood in front of Chen Xiang. He was dressed in black, his expression was cold, and in his hand was a long sword with a green dragon carved on it. Azure Dragon Sword. Chen Xiang was shocked. This was one of the 7 dragons' swords. Long Shui had said before that this was an existence which was closest to the divine sword. If the user was strong, they could fight against the divine blade. That's right, although the green dragon demon-slain broadsword in your hand is stronger than this sword, in your hands, it is like a piece of wood. The person who looked exactly the same as Chen Xiang said. Who are you? Chen Xiang originally thought that this was an illusion, but it was actually so real. The person who looked exactly like him seemed to be extremely powerful. I am not a person. I am only protecting a spirit body here, but I have a very terrifying ability. It is to become exactly the same as others, including having the same strength as him, but I will definitely be stronger than you because I can use all of my power and you can't. The man sneered. Chen Xiang held onto the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, and vigilantly looked at this fellow who had the same face as him. Just now, the other party had threatened to kill him. So you're saying that you've become a lot of powerful people before, so why didn't you turn into those powerful people to deal with me? Chen Xiang asked, holding onto the divine blade tightly. This talent of mine can only be used once. I was captured here to wait for the first person to enter this place, then to become him, to kill him, to obtain his soul, to become him. This is the only way I can leave this place. I have already thought of a name for myself. That Zhou Fei laughed, his face full of confidence. Although you are very weak, you still manage to climb the heaven stairway with difficulty. Luckily you managed to climb it, otherwise I do not know how long I would have to wait. Chen Xiang already understood that this strange spirit body was just a trap placed here, waiting for him to come. You want to become me? Dream on, you have the same strength as me, but you don't have the same soul as me. You have the same impossibility of becoming me, and I will absolutely not give you a chance. Chen Xiang was not one bit afraid of Zhou Fei. Ha ha! Zhou Fei raised his head and laughed maniacally. The azure dragon sword in his hand continuously flashed. He was quickly pouring a terrifying divine force into it. Chen Xiang was very familiar with that power. It was from his body, as though it was extracted from his body. If he did not see it with his own eyes, he would not have believed that such a strange spirit body existed. Thank you for granting me such a satisfactory power. Thank you for allowing me to obtain the heaven-earth killing method. This is a peerless divine art, haha. As Zhou Fei spoke, he had already disappeared. Sensing the spatial energy, Chen Xiang was greatly shocked in his heart. This Zhou Fei was actually able to completely duplicate his energy, and was even able to use the power of spatial laws. What surprised him the most was that after Zhou Fei became his replica, he also managed to grasp the heaven-earth killing method. Chen Xiang suspected that his soul had been copied by Zhou Fei. There can only be one me in this world. Zhou Fei's maniacal laughter echoed in the luxurious hall. So you must die. Just as Chen Xiang was slowly spinning, Zhou Fei suddenly appeared in front of him. The green dragon sword in his hand that had been infused with his powerful G.O.D. power had already pierced into his heart. The profound wood diamond armor on Chen Xiang's body suddenly appeared, but Zhou Fei's sword attack was extremely powerful and sent him flying. Seeing Chen Xiang's profound wood diamond armor, Zhou Fei frowned. His face had a trace of anger. He did not know that Chen Xiang had such a holy armor. After Chen Xiang was sent flying, he stood firmly on the ground. He was completely fine. He had been very sure that Zhou Fei would not be able to replicate the divine weapon, so he did not have any profound wood diamond armor or killing G.O.D. hard. However, the other party's physical body was as strong as his, and he also had the devil-suppressing golden body, so his poison had no effect on him. Chen Xiang stood there, his eyes gleaming with excitement. The Zhou Fei in front of him was equivalent to a very strong him. It was easy to defeat others, but very difficult to defeat himself. This was a very rare opportunity. Defeating him is equivalent to defeating myself. Suddenly, Chen Xiang kept his green dragon demon-slain broadsword and profound wood diamond armor. He decided not to use his divine weapon. Zhou Fei's sword attack just now had made him believe that Zhou Fei had truly displayed his entire body's power to the fullest. This was something he could not do, but now he had to do it, or else he would be defeated. What are you laughing at now? Zhou Fei saw Chen Xiang keeping the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, and he found it hard to understand. Could it be that you want to admit defeat? How could I admit defeat? Your appearance is extremely important to me, and also extremely difficult to come by. Right now, I am extremely eager for power, and you. It will become a stepping stone for me to become stronger. I will defeat you with my bare hands and defeat myself. Chen Xiang was full of confidence. After going through the 100,000 heaven stairway, he had already trained to the point of having an incomparably firm conviction. Zhou Fei was a spirit body, and he had cultivated his own intelligence. He knew how to be angry as well, because Chen Xiang's words made him instantly turn furious. It was just that this slash was much more terrifying than the one Chen Xiang released previously, because the vast wave of sword qi that was used like wild waves, with the force of killing the heavens and the earth. This spirit that had just replicated his power, was able to nimbly use his power from the start. This made Chen Xiang even more excited. Looking at the vast and mighty sword qi, it was as though it could destroy the heaven and earth and envelop Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang was very serious at the moment, and he felt that the power was similar to the heavenly tribulations of the 100,000 heaven stairway. Although it was very scary and looked as if he couldn't go up, he still relied on his will and his firm heart to do what he thought was impossible. At the same time, his eyes became empty, and a faint white light appeared in his eyes. He slowly raised his fist, and the aura he suddenly gathered around him seemed like the collapse of heaven and earth, the overturning of the seas, the absence of any aura, but the aura was extremely terrifying. Heaven and earth annihilating fist. A technique suddenly appeared in Chen Xiang's mind. When the vast waves sword qi struck him, he instantly digested the technique and slashed out towards the invisible but terrifying vast waves sword qi. Chen Xiang's fist faced that terrifying sword qi, and the two forces brought along the might of heaven and earth, as they fiercely clashed against each other, and released that roar, as if the heaven and earth were crying out in grief, and the two of them were being forced to retreat by the surging waves. What made Zhou Fei surprised was, the azure dragon sword in his hand almost flew out from the impact. The two of them were separated by dozens of meters, but their clash through the air was also extremely terrifying. Zhou Fei did not expect Chen Xiang to suddenly unleash a strong power that was hidden within his body. Surprisingly, he did not expect Chen Xiang's punch to land on his arm. Zhou Fei did not expect Chen Xiang to suddenly unleash a strong power that was hidden within his body. Surprisingly, he did not expect Chen Xiang's punch to land on his arm. It seems that I've underestimated you. Since that's the case, I will make your defeat even more thorough. He felt that he had copied Chen Xiang's everything, and he himself was a spirit body that had lived for hundreds of thousands of years. He felt that he understood the use of power even more than Chen Xiang did, and knew how to use his own strength. In Zhou Fei's eyes, humans did not have a good image to begin with, and he hated humans even more. Right now, he wished that he could defeat Chen Xiang immediately, leave this place, and go Ma's saker in the human world. Zhou Fei's figure flashed, darting towards Chen Xiang from left to right. He used his spatial energy, becoming extremely proficient when he traveled through SPAC, changing his position continuously in the SPAC Hall. Before he even reached Chen Xiang's side, Chen Xiang suddenly sensed a sharp sword qi approaching from the side. In that extremely short period of time, Chen Xiang suddenly extended his hand and grabbed, just in time to grab the tip of the azure dragon sword. He suddenly retracted his hand, pulling the azure dragon sword back. The sword strike he used just now came through S.P. A.C., and at this moment, he was at Chen Xiang's other side. Chen Xiang did not expect that by the time he discovered it, Zhou Fei would already be laughing wildly, throwing a heavy kick at his face. Zhou Fei's kick was extremely vicious. It was as if tens of thousands of mountains had crashed down upon him, and there was even the sound of waves flowing through the water. Chen Xiang's face was kicked to the side, causing his bones to be in extreme pain, as though his face was about to shatter. His entire body was sent flying by the powerful force, as though he was a flying meteorite, quickly and ruthlessly loading himself onto the stiff stone wall of the great hall. Almost at the same time he collided with the wall, he fiercely thrusted out his sword. The deep cold sword qi that caused people's back to turn cold could repeatedly penetrate through everything, and this sword was aimed at Chen Xiang's throat. After Chen Xiang sensed the sword qi that was filled with endless killing intent, under this situation, he immediately used all of his strength to dodge and appeared behind Zhou Fei. He waved his fists, using the heaven and earth killing fist. He smashed at Zhou Fei's back violently. After going through the tempering of the heaven stairway, Chen Xiang was already able to unearth a lot of energy that was hidden in his body. At this time, he crazily unleashed heaven and earth killing fist combined with the spatial laws, causing his fists to fly in all directions. Boom, boom, boom. Each of these fists contained a terrifying killing intent that caused the heavens to tremble. The killing intent emitted bursts of roars, as if it were a demonic spirit that filled the entire hall. The S.P. A.C. around Zhou Fei had long been shaken by Chen Xiang's heaven-earth killing method, and thus could not maintain its stability, causing Zhou Fei to be unable to teleport. At the moment, his entire body was being crushed by Chen Xiang's pair of berserk fists, and every punch that landed on his body contained the power of an earthquake that could destroy 10,000 mountains. Ah! Chen Xiang only took a few seconds to smash his body with multiple punches. He never thought that he would be in such pain. Blood already flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Zhou Fei roared, all the energy in his body exploding out, forming a burst of powerful qi wave. Like a roaring sea, it swept up waves of energy wave, ripping Chen Xiang who was beside him away. After that, he used the force of the roar and pierced towards Chen Xiang once again. The angry Zhou Fei's eyes were bloodshot. The azure dragon sword that was originally glowing with a green light was now emitting a black gas. Zhou Fei seemed to be burning with evil energy, his body spewing out an extremely evil aura, which made people think that he was a cruel and bloody evil demon. His cultivation went berserk, this is true. This guy suddenly obtained such a strong power, and his mentality isn't good at all. Chen Xiang turned his head to avoid the sword, and indifferently looked at Zhou Fei whose eyes were completely red. You are truly very strong, especially this sword. I'm afraid even a fifth cycle sacred transformation would have difficulty resisting against it. As he said that, Zhou Fei, who had lost his mind, had already crazily thrusted out his sword dozens of times, and Chen Xiang dodged them all. However, you have completely lost control of this power, and right now, the one controlling this power is not you, but the evil in your heart. After grasping the strong power, the dark side hidden in your heart is a side that everyone has, but people will be restricted by all sorts of restrictions, and they will be able to suppress this dark side. Chen Xiang only wanted to fight him fair and square, but Zhou Fei had already become an evil demon who had lost all sense of reason. All the strength in his body carried a very evil attribute. If he used the devil-suppressing magic power, it would be much easier for him, but it was not much of a challenge for him. None of your business, Zhou Fei roared. His fist and the azure dragon sword clashed as he crazily attacked Chen Xiang. He did not care for his life, he just released a powerful attack, which burned his strength crazily. Right now, my strength is the strongest, so you are unable to do it. It is impossible for you to do it. Other than dodging, what else can you do? If you have the ability to attack me, you can't hurt me at all. Zhou Fei laughed sinisterly, his fists and swords crossing over. He was so fast that many shadows appeared, and he stepped on the shrinking step, chasing after Chen Xiang's berserk attack. Chen Xiang also stepped on the shrinking step, and the two of them seemed to slide quickly on the ground, their figures moving extremely fast, extremely blurry, and unable to see their movements clearly. They moved extremely fast. Really? Do you really think I'm that weak? Chen Xiang's eyes flashed. The light aura being released was extremely sharp. In that moment, it was as though his entire being had changed. He suddenly extended his hands out and grabbed onto Zhou Fei's wrist. It had to be known that Zhou Fei's current attack speed was extremely fast. It was not easy for Chen Xiang to grab his wrist, but he appeared to be so simple. Chen Xiang looked at the face that looked exactly like him, with an extremely serious expression, and said word by word, "Your current strength is indeed terrifying, but you are unable to fully utilize the essence of my strength. You have replicated my strength, but you are unable to replicate the respect and trust one have in it. You can't control this power at all. You don't have any feelings for this power, and you have never thought of using it properly. The container of your current strength, even though you have a strong physical body, is only a walking corpse." Chen Xiang grabbed onto Zhou Fei's wrist with all his might, and suddenly felt the power inside Zhou Fei's body enter into his body crazily, which surprised him, but the power was so familiar, so close, and did not reject him from entering his divine sense C, fusing into his heavenly pellet. Zhou Fei discovered that the power in his body was flowing towards Chen Xiang. He was immediately enraged and kicked at Chen Xiang's abdomen, but a burst of power surged out from Chen Xiang's body, blocking his kick. Zhou Fei discovered that the power in his body was flowing towards Chen Xiang. He was immediately enraged and kicked at Chen Xiang's abdomen, but a burst of power surged out from Chen Xiang's body, blocking his kick. "Do you think I didn't manage to get anything from that heaven stairway?" Chen Xiang sneered. "Climbing that heaven stairway, I have lost a large amount of precious medicinal herbs, but my harvest was even bigger, allowing me to have a deeper understanding of the hidden power in my body." Chen Xiang used the devil-suppressing magic power to increase his strength, and both of his hands to increase his strength. With a "kacha" sound, the bones on Zhou Fei's wrists were crushed, causing him to scream out in pain and kick Chen Xiang crazily. He had walked up from the heaven stairway, and had unintentionally unleashed all the potential in his body. He believed that he could now use the soul inside the killing G.O.D. heart to control the terrifying sword thrust out of his body. Zhou Fei was firmly frozen by Chen Xiang. He roared, cursed, and continuously kicked at Chen Xiang, but he was blocked by the force of Chen Xiang's body. The speed at which the energy in his body flowed into Chen Xiang became faster and faster. The power of Zhou Fei's copy of Chen Xiang was just as strong. Chen Xiang did not know why it was so strange, but Zhou Fei had actually copied his beast-type heavenly pellet cultivation method. Right now, it could be said that Chen Xiang was devouring Zhou Fei, but he did not use his devouring magic kung fu. He only grabbed onto Zhou Fei, and the energy consciously entered into his body. He believed that although the energy was copied, it was still his. Because this was originally his power, he was able to perfectly fuse it, just like how it had always been. It was not only a large amount of divine power, Zhou Fei's soul, heaven pellet, and all the other powers in his body all entered Chen Xiang's body by themselves. You are the evil demon, you have devoured my power." Zhou Fei's face gradually shriveled up as he screamed in horror. His previous imposing manner was now completely gone. "You should be well aware that the force entered my body by itself," Chen Xiang said indifferently, There can only be one me in this world, my power can only be on one person, so you must die. I will thank you. Ah! Zhou Fei cried out in disbelief. His body had already completely dried up, but he still had a lot of energy entering Chen Xiang's body. This is the power inside his bones are also gold in color. Chen Xiang closed his eyes and looked at the divine sense. With Zhou Fei's power, he had already stepped into the fourth cycle of the sacred transformation. His divine power was becoming stronger and stronger, especially his bones. The beast-type heavenly pill had also become rather big. He did not expect that fighting with this replica would result in such a huge harvest. In this way, my Yulong blood will become even purer, but I do not have the special surname of the Draconian. I wonder what will happen to me in the future. Chen Xiang picked up the azure dragon sword, waved it around to memorize what it was, and then put it away. I already have the 7 dragons sword, holy dragon sword, fire dragon sword, azure dragon sword, and thunder dragon sword. I still need to collect the white dragon sword and the Tianlong sword. Chen Xiang had always been curious about what would happen if he gathered all the 7 dragons sword. Right now, he was already a little excited, because there was a high possibility that the white dragon sword and the Tianlong sword were in Long Xue's hands. After being lightly touched by Chen Xiang, Zhou Fei's body turned into a pile of ashes. His power had been lost so much that he couldn't even preserve his body. This guy is already dead. What's next? Is this the Emperor's tomb? Chen Xiang looked around, searching for a door. However, he felt that this place was so big it had already taken up a lot of space inside the Lion Mountain. The lobby was very tall. Chen Xiang felt that there shouldn't be any hidden stone rooms above. Even if there were, it should only be deep inside. Just as he was searching for the entrance, the ground suddenly shook. He felt a violent tremble beneath his feet, as well as a powerful force rushing towards him. He immediately jumped away. In the middle of the hall, a small stone tower that was 7 stories tall suddenly rose up. The stone tower looked like it had some ideas, and it was not very particular when it was built. It looked rough on the outside, but it gave off a very strdy feeling. Could it be in this tower? Chen Xiang circled around the tower in the distance, and started to carefully observe it. The tower looked extremely small compared to the majestic structure that was the devil-suppressing divine palace. It didn't look like the place where the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's corpse was kept at all. I can only go in and take a look. Chen Xiang could only enter the tower now, because there was no other way out of this place. Just as he entered the entrance of the stone tower, Chen Xiang saw a simple and cracked stone chest placed in the middle of the tower. He wanted to go over to open it, but he decided to wait and see before doing so. He continued to ascend. The 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th floors were devoid of anything, and the interior was extremely simple and crude. The walls had not been cleaned and the floor was paved with uneven stone brick. Chen Xiang slowly stepped onto the stairs of the 7th floor. He felt that there was at least something on this floor, so he was already mentally prepared, but he couldn't help but be shocked because of this. In the middle of the floor there was actually an old man wearing a tattered gray robe, whose head of white hair covered most of his body. His hair and eyebrows were long and white, which was why Chen Xiang felt that he was an old man. However, his face was young and very handsome, as if he was a handsome young man. If he had trimmed and blackened his hair, he would have looked like a very energetic young man. Who is this guy? Chen Xiang thought. Isn't this the Emperor's tomb? There should be a corpse here. Could it be that this is the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's corpse, but it doesn't look like a corpse? Chen Xiang carefully circled the white-haired teenager, using his divine power to check his body, but didn't find anything. He looked at it for a long time, but still could not tell what it was. He was a bit worried because this was the only clue he could find in this tower. Senior, are you still alive? Chen Xiang could not help but ask. If I'm not alive, you won't be able to see this tower. The man actually replied him. Chen Xiang scolded himself in his heart. He should have asked earlier. The fact that this person could speak surprised Chen Xiang, and he quickly came to the front of the man. This man's eyes were already opened, and his gaze was as deep as the ocean, revealing an indescribable vicissitudes of life. Senior, who are you? Chen Xiang asked. Are you 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord? Chen Xiang just thought that this place had been sealed for a long time, but there was still a living person here, so he suspected that this was the 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord. Chen Xiang just thought that this place had been sealed for a long time, but there was still a living person here, so he suspected that this was the 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord. 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord is lying in the sarcophagus below. If you want to see him, you can leave right now, but he can't speak. He's dead. The man said as he looked at Chen Xiang. The 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord was actually placed inside that broken coffin like that, causing Chen Xiang to be stunned. He was unable to connect the 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord and that broken coffin with each other, as that did not fit 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord's ident. 1. Tie it all. Then you. Who is it? Chen Xiang asked again. Of course he would not open the coffin to look at 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord, it was extremely disrespectful. My name is Jiang Xing. Jiang Xing. Chen Xiang tried very hard to think of the things that Long Shui had told him to look for something with this name. He felt that since Jiang Xing could live that long in this place, he must have been an extremely powerful and famous person back then. His memory was extremely good, and he was sure that Long Shui had never told him this person's name before. Senior Jiang. I was guided here by this green dragon demon-slain broadsword, and now I can't go out, and I have urgent matters to attend to outside. Chen Xiang took out the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. I wonder what methods do you have to force me out? Jiang Xing extended his hand, indicating that Chen Xiang should pass the divine blade to him. Chen Xiang didn't know why, but he felt no hostility or vigilance towards this Jiang Xing. He said the green dragon demon-slain broadsword over, and when he did, he actually felt that it was trembling slightly, as if it was very excited. I never thought that this blade could be said down until now. I can have a decent master, so I won't be lonely with him. You already have 2 companions. Jiang Xing caressed the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, looking as gentle as if he was caressing his own children. Chen Xiang suddenly felt that Jiang Xing was most likely a divine craftsman. Senior, are you a divine craftsman? Chen Xiang asked somewhat excitedly. Well, you've heard of me. Jiang Xing returned the green dragon demon-slain broadsword to Chen Xiang. My matter should not be spread further. Could it be that that piece of history has not been destroyed yet? No. During this period of time, the news of the 9 emperors and 5 venerables has spread like wildfire. Chen Xiang took a deep breath. His heart was thumping hard. He had a lot of divine weapons in his hands, forged by the divine craftsman. Divine blacksmith was the supreme soldier, one of the 5 great monarchs. His status was extremely high and many emperors did not wish to make him their enemy. Senior, why don't you want your hammer and divine cauldron? Chen Xiang immediately took out the divine cauldron and divine hammer. Now that these items have returned to their rightful owners, these things are basically a waste in my hands. I'll just use them to fight. Jiang Xing laughed. One of the reasons that I created these 2 things was for fighting. He fiddled with the divine hammer and the small cauldron, exclaiming, I never thought that you would actually be able to find the lid. Back then, the lid was taken away by that old man Tang Ying, then he went to the sacred beast's ancient realm and entered the seal. Tang Ying is Dan Emperor's name. Very few people knew the name of the 9 emperors and 5 venerables, perhaps only they knew of it. That's right, you also went to the sacred beast's ancient realm. Jiang Xing frowned as he looked at Chen Xiang. How did you come out? Chen Xiang sat down and sighed. It's a long story. He told Jiang Sheng about the sacred beast's ancient realm. I never thought it would be like this. In order to come out, that old man did not hesitate to give up his own body. I wonder how he is doing now. Is he still in Nine Heaven World? Jiang Sheng sighed. He should be learning the beast-slaying method. You should keep these things. Back then, the reason I threw them away was to give them to a fated person. Now that they are all gathered by you, it seems like you and these items are fated to be together. Jiang Sheng pushed the divine cauldron and hammer towards Chen Xiang. Thank you for your gift, Senior. Chen Xiang kept it well. He had already seen that Jiang Sheng was the kind of person who had nothing to worry about. Otherwise, he wouldn't have stayed here for so long. You still lack the Suzaku Divine Weapon and the Qilin Divine Weapon. It's a pity that my book is missing, otherwise I would have been able to find the forging blueprints on it. But I can still remember it. I'll find a time to get a copy for you. Jiang Sheng looked at the slaughtered God's hand that Chen Xiang took out, his face full of memories. I have the vermilion bird's corpse, and the book you mentioned should be in the divine realm, right? I've already obtained it, but I don't have the strength to forge a divine weapon right now. Chen Xiang said, the Suzaku silk has already merged with one of my wives. Just as he had thought, outside of the four symbols divine weapons, there were also the Qilin divine weapons. The land of divine communication. Jiang Sheng muttered, he then sighed. His face had a look of regret. Chen Xiang did not know what he was regretting about either. Senior, why did the green dragon demon-slaying broadsword lead me here? Chen Xiang was more curious about this. Jiang Sheng shook his head. This is Qi Hi. Plus S decision. I don't know why. Go and open his coffin. Maybe I can tell you his corpse. Chen Xiang suddenly felt Guseb. MPS. 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord's dead body would tell him. Let's go together. Jiang Sheng slowly stood up, his body crackling. He was stretching his muscles and bones, and it could be seen that he hadn't moved them for a long time. You must be under a lot of pressure outside since you've gotten so many good stuff. Jiang Sheng chuckled and patted Chen Xiang's shoulders. Back then I thought that these so-called treasures were actually just some trouble, so in the end I threw them all away and gave these headaches to someone else. It's not bad. Your descendants chase after me and chop me all day, and I am enemies with them now. Chen Xiang said. I have no descendants. Jiang Sheng frowned her long white brows. Someone is actually pretending to be my descendant. How preposterous is that? Said it was pious. Said down by his disciple all those years ago. Chen Xiang said in shock. No wonder the spirit grain they used didn't have a trace of your style. I have a disciple, but I didn't let that guy inherit it in my name. And that guy didn't even learn anything from me back then. He actually had the nerve to help me inherit it. Jiang Sheng suddenly became angry. But right now they are not really any trouble. My biggest trouble are the heavenly regions, heavenly dragon race. And there's also Fire Emperor. They're preparing to attack my dragon fountain. Chen Xiang sighed. I have to get out quickly, or else many of my people will die. They had already arrived at the side of the broken coffin on the first floor. Jiang Sheng smiled and said, You are much stronger than this dead person. Back then, he had to suffer for many years in order to attract the sky region's attention. They're almost going to destroy me. Chen Xiang said snappily. A thought flashed through Chen Xiang's mind. He was worried that there was someone from the Nine Heaven World who did not come to stop the battle, so wasn't there one more person that was easy to talk to? After staying here for so long, the divine craftsman must be stronger. It shouldn't be too difficult to deal with the other experts from the Heaven Realm. A thought flashed through Chen Xiang's mind. He was worried that there was someone from the Nine Heaven World who did not come to stop the battle, so wasn't there one more person that was easy to talk to? After staying here for so long, the divine craftsman must be stronger. It shouldn't be too difficult to deal with the other experts from the Heaven Realm. Senior, the 9 Heaven world is in such a mess right now, and they are also facing danger. Don't you intend to go out and join in the fun? Chen Xiang asked. Jiang Sheng was patting the broken coffin, and from the looks of it, he seemed to be undoing the restrictions on it. I don't want to die yet, so I'm in the safest place. This is a small realm of telekinesis that I've used a long time to open. Even if the 9 Heaven world were to be destroyed, this place would still be safe for a long time. Jiang Sheng said. Chen Xiang never thought that a ranker with such strength like Jiang Sheng would actually be so afraid of the rankers who had descended upon the 9 Heaven world. However, he knew that the rankers in the 9 Emperors and 5 Venerables all escaped the 9 Heaven world to protect their lives after Di Tian was destroyed. Senior, you are worried about H.E.L. Devil Emperor? Chen Xiang asked. I'm worried about what he's doing. He doesn't even need to do anything to kill me. Jiang Sheng laughed at himself. Although I am called a divine craftsman, my abilities are extremely limited. Chen Xiang was startled. He could see that the divine craftsman was worried about many things. This is also why I don't want to go out. Once I go out, I'll be killed. When the time comes, I won't be able to do anything. Jiang Sheng shook his head and sighed. Under his slaps, the broken sarcophagus had flashed with many S.H.I. plus Ning spirit grain S, and Chen Xiang was glad that they did not open it when he came in. Otherwise, it would be very troublesome. Are they really that scary? Chen Xiang was in disbelief. I've seen Divine Feather School. It's a woman, she's called Feng Yujie. Do you know her? I do. Her strength is not bad. If I were to fight with her, it wouldn't be any good. Jiang Sheng suddenly frowned. I never thought that you would have met her before. She's still alright now. She's one of the few people in the past who didn't sell their souls. She's alright, but she goes into seclusion all day. He looks just like you. Fade out of the mortal world and don't care about worldly affairs. When Chen Xiang thought back to Feng Yujie, he realized that he looked really similar to Jiang Sheng. Other than that, there was also the White Tiger. The first time he met the White Tiger gave off this feeling. This kind of expert that stood at the peak of the 9th level all those years ago actually didn't have that kind of fighting spirit anymore. Only the White Tiger was a bit better. I've even seen a White Tiger before, and he's the same as you. Why have you guys been unable to recover since the time of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord? Chen Xiang found it hard to understand. Jiang Sheng sighed. Because I'm powerless to turn the situation around. Do you know why it is so hard to kill Fire Emperor and Ice Emperor? Even Chi S.H.I. plus couldn't kill them. Why? Chen Xiang only thought that Fire Emperor and Ice Emperor were very stubborn, but they were still beaten half to death by 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. In the end, Ice Emperor still died in his hands. Because they are immortal, Jiang Sheng said in a heavy voice. Those experts from the realm of Flame Heaven have already sold their souls to H.E.L. Devil Emperor. H.E.L. Devil Emperor promised them that after they die, they would not extract their souls from their bodies, and as long as their souls remain in their bodies, they will be able to revive as long as their souls remain strong for a long time. They are all immortal, and only by destroying their souls can they be considered to be completely dead. However, the H.E.L. Devil Emperor has strengthened their souls, so it's extremely difficult to destroy them. Jiang Sheng shook his head and sighed. No matter how we kill them, we can't kill them all, so we can only let it go and hide. Unless we can find a good way to deal with them, because with the H.E.L. Devil Emperor supporting them, in all aspects they will definitely improve. Chen Xiang rubbed his chin, thinking back to how he killed Ice Emperor, and said, Could it be that I didn't kill off Ice Emperor then? I remember he didn't even have a corpse. As for his soul, that's hard to say. If this guy is still alive, then wouldn't I be in trouble? When he killed the Ice Emperor, his methods were quite vicious. He used the magical corruption gas S and the God eclipse powder S. These two things even scared the gods. What? You killed the Ice Emperor? That's unlikely. Jiang Xing was in disbelief. He opened the coffin's lid and a wave of cold air leaked out, causing Chen Xiang to Hi plus ver. This is Chi Hi plus S corpse. I have refined some special ice, along with some restrictions. It can prevent him from becoming a big lion after he dies. Jiang Xing pointed inside and said. Chen Xiang could only see a piece of white ice that was emitting a lot of smoke. He could not see what the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord looked like at all. I really got rid of the Ice Emperor back then, Chen Xiang said in a serious tone, and then lowered his voice. I used a God eclipse powder. Upon hearing the God eclipse powder, Jiang Xing suddenly opened her eyes wide and raised her long white eyebrows. If it's the God eclipse powder, it's possible to get rid of his body, and maybe even melt his soul. But his soul doesn't perish, and he can only travel the world, so it will take him a very long time to recreate his body. I'm afraid that the Hel Devil Emperor will help him rebuild his body. Chen Xiang was confused. Why would the Hel Devil Emperor cooperate with them? Why do they need their souls? Hel Devil Emperor is equivalent to a God. He controls the evil spirits that have died in the 9 heaven world and the various endless heaven realm. As long as there are people who have died in his hands, they will be treated as evil spirits and then enter Hell. These evil spirits will become the cultivation products of the Hel Devil Emperor, especially those who are very strong. For example, the 9 emperors and 5 venerables. These kind of people are all the highest grade nutrients for the Hel Devil Emperor, but he would rather these people protect the world that he controls, so that some future evil spirits that might not be able to escape from his control. This Chen Xiang had heard from the White Tiger that the soul of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord was not bad. Therefore, every once in a while, the Hel Devil Emperor would let his subordinates plan for a great battle, and at the same time, he had even signed a soul contract with those strong warriors, so that those fellows who worked for the Hel Devil Emperor would be unable to escape the control of the Hel Devil Emperor. As long as they don't go against the Hel Devil Emperor, they will never die. Chen Xiang took a deep breath. The great battle that happened on Tian back then, as well as the great war between 3 realms afterwards, were all planned by someone. No wonder. Jiang Xing nodded his head and said, it was all planned by that group of fellows from the heavenly realm. It was precisely because Hi plus was aware of this at the time that caused him to rule the entire 9 heaven world, and let everyone work together to bring about peace and stability for a long time. This caused the Hel Devil Emperor to not receive a large number of evil spirits for a long time, which was why something happened to Hi plus. Sigh. It's no wonder that I wasn't targeted by the Hel Devil Emperor, because I wasn't a threat to him at all. Instead, I provided him with a large number of evil spirits for him to cultivate. Chen Xiang curled his lips. Looks like this Hel Devil Emperor is the true great emperor of this 9 heaven world. In this world, there are still many people who do not need to go to Hel after death. However, the Hel Devil Emperor is only using the loopholes of the rules, so there are still a lot of power that can restrain him. This was the first time Chen Xiang heard this saying. He thought that the Hel Devil Emperor was an invincible existence. Seeing Chen Xiang's face filled with curiosity, Jiang Xing continued, since you know about the God realm, then you should believe that there is still another Gods realm, also known as the Primal Chaos realm. It was established during the Primal Chaos era. Senior, because you can't go to that G.O.D.S. realm, you gave up on yourself. Chen Xiang laughed. He had already guessed this a long time ago. He was at the highest level world today, the place where the heavens and earth were set and activated. Even if I can go there, I think I would be a miscellaneous person. But I heard that after a few people die, their souls would directly ascend to become gods at that place, and there are also creatures that can pass the gods trial with their own strength, entering the gods realm. Although I am called a divine craftsman and was able to refine divine weapons, I still haven't said the assessment. The main reason is that my strength is too weak. Jiang Xing sighed. If I was as powerful as Chi plus, I might be able to pass the gods assessment. Chen Xiang rubbed the ice that had sealed 10 Heaven's Supreme Lordess and asked, "The green dragon demon-slain broadsword must have guided me here, so it can't be that they want me to bring you out, right? Now that I have seen the 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord, there isn't any reaction at all. Take out the green dragon demon-slain broadsword and take a look," Jiang Xing said. Chen Xiang took out the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. The divine blade did not have any reaction, and then he placed the divine blade on that snow-white block of ice. Not long after the divine blade was placed on the blade, a burst of cyan light appeared. It's a remnant soul of Chi plus, and he actually sealed a remnant soul inside the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. In this way, as long as this remnant soul enters his body, he might be able to come back to life. Jiang Xing suddenly became excited. No wonder he was so desperate to isolate himself with the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. So that's the reason, otherwise the green dragon demon-slain broadsword would have had to follow him into Hel. Looking at the ice that flickered with green light, Chen Xiang became excited as well. "Senior, why didn't he give you the divine blade back then? Even though this blade was created by me, he didn't approve of me. Furthermore, he knew how to fly in the sky and escape into the ground, so in the end, it took a lot of effort for Long Han and that big size guy to seal it up. The remnant spirit might need to find a new master to gradually awaken, but Chi plus didn't tell us that." Chen Xiang had already guessed that the people involved in this matter were divine craftsmen. Jiang Xing began to melt the ice, allowing the remnant soul to enter 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord's body. The green dragon demon-slain broadsword had already returned to Chen Xiang's divine sense. Now, Chen Xiang understood why when he was using the green dragon demon-slain broadsword before, he felt that this divine blade had a very strong consciousness and was releasing the power of the divine blade. After the ice melted, Chen Xiang saw 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord's appearance. He was a very handsome middle-aged man with a beard on his chin. After the ice melted, Chen Xiang saw 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord's appearance. He was a very handsome middle-aged man with a beard on his chin. "Is this the 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord?" Chen Xiang muttered. This 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord in front of him didn't have the aura of an emperor, although it was just a body, but it should more or less have that kind of emperor aura. On the contrary, Fire Emperor and LV Qilian had let him feel this way before. Just as Chen Xiang was about to ask, Jiang Xing reached into the sarcophagus and slapped 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord's face. "Bastard. You slept for so long, wake up quickly. There was a little kid who traveled so far and spent so much effort. He almost died several times along the way before bringing the green dragon demon-slain broadsword here." Pa. It could be seen that the 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord's corpse was still preserved very well. It was just that Chen Xiang could not watch any longer. The divine craftsman was too ruthless. He actually tortured a dead person to death. After the divine craftsman slapped him a few times, 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord suddenly opened his eyes. 2 rays of green light shot out from his eyes. He fiercely jumped out of the coffin and cursed. "Old Jiang, are you done fighting? Didn't I tell you to integrate faster and relax your muscles? Jiang Xing chuckled, then said to Chen Xiang, the mission that you risked your life coming here to do is to revive this B-A-S-T-A-R-D. Chen Xiang was startled. He looked at Ten Heaven's Supreme Lord. This guy did not have a bit of the demeanor of an expert. I know your name is Chen Xiang, and that remnant spirit of mine would be in a half-awake state from time to time, so I know a little about you. You did a good job and didn't disappoint me, to actually be able to let me live like this, haha. I patted Chen Xiang's shoulders and laughed out loud. Brat, you aren't an easy person either, don't pretend to be pure. You have so many powerful things on your hand now, as long as you are a little stronger, you will be able to torture those B-A-S-T-A-R-D-S to death. Chen Xiang reacted. After all, this was the Ten Heaven's Supreme Lord. He anxiously wanted to bow to Chi-S-Hi+, but who knew he would be stopped by Chi-S-Hi+. Don't do this for me. You have inherited a lot of things from me, so you have to work hard in the future. Chi-S-Hi+ laughed. This. Great Emperor, what kind of state are you in now? Have you fully revived or temporarily resurrected? Isn't your soul still in H-E-L-L? Chen Xiang was very suspicious about this. Chi-S-Hi+ sighed. I don't want that H-E-L-L soul, it's impossible for me to get out. At the beginning, I had kept that back up, nurtured my second soul, and sealed it inside the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. Finally, by absorbing the soul energy emitted by the dead, it would be more or less time for my body to revive. Jiang Xing laughed. In that case, I am much stronger than you right now. Chi-S-Hi+ patted Chen Xiang's shoulder. That is not necessarily true. Wait a little longer, my successor will definitely win against you. Chen Xiang had heard from Duan Ming and the White Tiger that the Ten Heaven's Supreme Lord was very easygoing and approachable. It was exactly as the rumors said, but Chi-S-Hi+ no longer had the kind of earth-shaking power like back then. Seniors, my dragon fountain is being prepared to be attacked. I need to go back quickly. Is there any way to leave this place? Chen Xiang asked anxiously. Since you're in such a hurry, I'm going to give you a proper lesson so that you can become stronger. Chi-S-Hi+ frowned. Can we wait any longer? It'll be quick. There's about 3 or 4 months left. That dragon fountain is very important to me, and when the time comes, many of my friends will be there to protect me. If I can't return by then, I'll kill them all. Chen Xiang's face was filled with worry. Enough. Chi-S-Hi+ looked at Jiang Xing. Old Jiang, go out and capture those annoying idiots inside. I talked for so long, and you sat for so long, it's about time to make up for it. Chi-S-Hi+ laughed brazenly as he patted Chen Xiang's shoulders so that he did not have to worry. Jiang Xing had already disappeared, and leaving via the transmission array, Chen Xiang was much more at ease. With the dragon outside, what are they doing here? Chen Xiang asked curiously. They wanted to break into this place. Those dragons knew about the Heaven Extended method, and they seemed to have predicted that I would come back alive, so they came to make trouble. Chi-S-Hi+ laughed out loud, but that dog S-Hi+T Dragon Emperor of his thinks too highly of himself and doesn't want to bother with such a small matter. If he were to personally take action, you would have died long ago. Chen Xiang couldn't laugh it off. The Dragon Emperor would be in a lot of trouble if he knew that Yu Yang had revived the Ten Heaven's Supreme Lord. If that Dragon Emperor attack my dragon fountain, wouldn't I be done for? Will Senior Jiang be able to deal with him? Chen Xiang was a little worried. Old Jiang is only a blacksmith, of course he can't beat that Dragon Emperor. But you don't have to worry, the gluttonous dragon that eats all day and drinks for nothing on your body can stall him for a while. Chi-S-Hi+ said with emotion. I never thought that this gluttony would still be the same, able to eat so much. Fortunately I have you, otherwise it wouldn't have been long since it was reborn and it would have starved to death. Chi Plus and Long Shui had known each other from the start, and Long Shui had even lent him the divine deity. Chen Xiang scolded Long Shui. How could he hide so many things from him? Before his memories awoken, he did not speak of it, but now that his memories had awoken, he did not tell him any of the secrets. Senior, I heard that you owe her a divine deity, so how are you going to return it to her? Your soul should still be in HELL, right? When Chen Xiang thought about this, he could see Chi Plus going crazy. Chi Plus, who was always smiling, suddenly could not laugh anymore. This. She told you, but she said she wouldn't. It was your master, Senior White Tiger. Chen Xiang looked at him speechlessly. This guy actually forgot something as important as divine deity. Who cares about him? If he wants to kill me, let him do so. It's not like I haven't died before. Even Chen Xiang wanted to beat him up, let alone Long Shui. Chen Xiang asked again, if she goes to HELL, is it possible to get her divine deity back? Chi Plus shook her head. Impossible, that divine deity has long been devoured by the HELL Devil Emperor. If she knew, she would have thought about fighting the HELL Devil Emperor with her life, but she definitely can't beat the HELL Devil Emperor. Chen Xiang felt that it wasn't worth it. With divine deity, he could enter the Gods realm. At that time, he wouldn't have to worry about being tricked by the HELL Devil Emperor anymore. There's no need to worry about her. If she can condense the second divine deity, she must be even more powerful, as it is a form of training for her. There aren't many opportunities to lose her divine deity, so this kind of thing should belong to Hi Plus Wu Huang, because who would be unwilling to lose it? Hi Plus laughed as he brought Chen Xiang outside to the Sias Hall. He had Chen Xiang take out the divine furnace and start a fire, preparing to eat the dragon meat. Chen Xiang did not understand why Long Shui would lend his divine deity to Hi Plus back then. Exactly how did you borrow the divine deity back then? This thing shouldn't be easy to borrow, right? Chen Xiang was very curious about this. It's too easy, I just took out a lot of delicious holy level fruits, and she agreed readily. Hi Plus laughed. This gluttonous dragon is very easy to deal with. Chen Xiang could only feel grief for Long Shui. Jiang Xing had not returned yet. Just now, Chi Plus told him to go out and deal with those sky dragons. Those sky dragons were not as easy to deal with as Chen Xiang had imagined. Jiang Xing had not returned yet. Just now, Hi Plus told him to go out and deal with those sky dragons. Those sky dragons were not as easy to deal with as Chen Xiang had imagined. Chen Xiang and Hi Plus sat in the great hall and waited. They had already lit a fire. Once Jiang Xing returned, they could begin. If Senior Jiang kills all those dragons, would Heavenly Dragon Race come over? Can they defend this place? Chen Xiang asked. The real Dragon Emperor should be very powerful in his eyes. I'm not too sure, but maybe it is possible. This place has never been attacked by any powerhouses of that level before. Don't think too much about it, let's have a meal first. Hi Plus didn't care at all. He looked at the sacred flame that Chen Xiang had released, and his face was filled with impatience. Why has old Jiang been gone for so long? In all these years, not only has he not become stronger, he has become weaker. Just as Hi Plus finished complaining, a ray of red light suddenly shone from a corner. Jiang Xing smiled and reached the spot he was at and quickly walked over. Did you succeed? Hi Plus asked. I only caught 2. The rest escaped with serious injuries. Jiang Xing took out a large chunk of dragon meat that had its scales sliced off. It's only two, and they still managed to escape. But forget it. H.I. Plus walked over to the piece of dragon meat that looked like a small house. This was only a small piece. If there were a bunch of dragons, they would take up a lot of space here. Chen Xiang said, Senior, are you sure you want to use this divine cauldron to make food? There are many corpses inside. Jiang Xing laughed. If you want to make food, just use mine. As a divine craftsman who was with a delicious fellow like H.I. Plus, he must have a lot of food on his hands. Sure enough, Jiang Xing took out a big pot, and threw a large amount of dragon meat into it. No one knew what ingredients he put in, making the pot H.I. Plus NE with a golden light. He was a big lion, it was normal for him to eat meat, but only dragon meat could satisfy him. Right now, he was holding up a huge fork with a large piece of dragon meat stuck in it. These stupid dragons, even though they knew that I was reviving in this period of time, they still sent themselves over for me to eat. After roasting the first piece of meat, H.I. Plus cut off two large pieces for Chen Xiang and Jiang Xing, and then began to wolf it down himself. Chen Xiang and Jiang Xing were both human, so they couldn't eat as much as him, but their appetite was not small either. Adding that this was meat from a sky dragon, which was equivalent to a holy level dragon, the power contained inside was both effective against Jiang Xing and H.I. Plus, let alone Chen Xiang. I never thought that your remnant soul would be so powerful, to actually be the soul of the holy level. Adding your physical body, even if your strength is not stronger than mine, it would be more than enough to deal with those heavenly dragons. You have already eaten your fill, so if they were to come again, you can go and capture it yourself. At this time, those two dragons had already been eaten, and the majority of them were eaten by H.I. Plus. After he finished replenis, H.I. Plusing himself, he was in an extremely good state, so both Chen Xiang and Jiang Xing could feel the powerful strength currently in his body. After eating so much dragon meat, his hair and eyebrows had already turned white. He looked just like a spirited young man, without any trace of the demeanor of an old senior. Sigh, I didn't expect that I would be revived. Only the two of you are celebrating me together. My old friends from before, I wonder how they are doing now. H.I. Plus sighed. I'm not celebrating you. I still want you to visit for a bit longer. Jiang Xing curled his lips. As long as I follow you, all I have to do is be unlucky throughout the day. During the time that you die, I'll be much more at ease. Old Jiang, I didn't ask you to take the lead. Normally, you will only create some stuff in the dark and set up some formations. What's there to be down on? H.I. Plus patted his shoulder and laughed. Don't worry this time, when I'm revived, I won't be tormenting anything. There's a brat here who can do more than me. Chen Xiang looked at him speechlessly. I don't want to torment them either, but there's nothing I can do about it. Right, where did the super old fire beast and the frozen dragon ancestor go? H.I. Plus said, once they go to God's realm, they will definitely not be able to stay there well. If they can go to that place, most of them will be used as mounts for the Gods. Even the powerful ice dragons and super old fire beast could only be used as mounts when they went to God's realm. Now, he understood why the ice dragons complained that he did not do well in that place. Can I train now? How can I become stronger in such a short period of time? Chen Xiang asked. He had always been concerned about this matter. Although I have resurrected, it is very difficult for me to reach the peak of my past. However, you can. H.I. Plus's face suddenly became serious. You are now in control of the heavenly alchemy, so you got it much earlier than me, and you have a deeper understanding of the heavenly alchemy than me, so you know how to use it to concoct pills. Back then, I was only using the heavenly alchemy to mess around, and it caused a lot of trouble. And this one. G.S.H.I. Plus patted Chen Xiang's chest. This killing G.O.D. heart. That was a very mysterious thing. Back then, my master couldn't even control it, so he gave it to me. My master seeking death in this reincarnation was one of the reasons to get rid of this killing G.O.D. heart. Chen Xiang had always been worried about the mysterious soul inside the killing G.O.D. heart. Senior, what about you? Can you control it? Chen Xiang asked anxiously. He can't control himself either. Back then, when he lost control of himself and almost killed all of us, that's why he ran off to the infernal realm to seek death, because he didn't want to live anymore. Jiang Xing said, but he did not die, and managed to save a group of subordinates. H.I. Plus nodded his head. Later on, when I found out that I was targeted by the H.E.L. Devil Emperor, I paid a huge price, and among those who abandoned my divine weapon, there was this killing G.O.D. heart. All these years I've been suppressed in H.E.L. I've been thinking about what exactly this killing G.O.D. heart is. My master told me before that this is a mysterious stone that he found in the forbidden land of Gods. Both the heavenly alchemy and the heavenly alchemy were obtained from it. H.I. Plus looked at Jiang Xing. After that, he found the old Jiang and helped him refine a heart. After that, he lost control over it a few times, so he was addressed as the God of slaughter. He was the one who killed the vermilion bird back then. I used the vermilion bird's feathers and blood to refine the Suzaku silk. Jiang Xing sighed, maybe because he felt guilty for killing the vermilion bird. He killed off the subordinates sent by the H.E.L. Devil Emperor, and in the end, gave up on his physical body and gave it to me to refine his body into the slaughtered God's hand. Chen Xiang touched his heart and started to beat even faster. He was worried that he would lose control of his body in the future and make a move on his friends and relatives. Senior, you've been thinking in HELL for so long. Do you know what that is? Do you have any way to restrain yourself? Chen Xiang asked anxiously. Senior, you've been thinking in HELL for so long. Do you know what that is? Do you have any way to restrain yourself? Chen Xiang asked anxiously. Jiang Xing looked at H.I. Plus, waiting for his reply. H.I. Plus furrowed his brows and took a deep breath. I think that it should be a divine deity, and one that is a G.O.D. of death at that. At that time, this so-called profound cold ancient realm had once sent a group of Gods to this place. I'm not too sure about the specifics, but in short, a true G.O.D. of killings came here and even died, leaving behind this divine deity. The divine deity contains a strong will of the G.O.D. of slaughterers, which is why it was able to go out of control. After Chen Xiang and Jiang Xing finished listening, both of them widened their eyes and slowly inhaled. This was actually a set of divine deity. Is this for real? Why do you only know now that you took over the divine deity of that craving dragon in the past? Jiang Xing still could not believe that this rare divine deity was actually in Chen Xiang's body. Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord's divine deity has only just been formed, and is completely different from this kind of divine deity that has been formed for a long time. Her divine deity is still in the form of a soul body, and I've never seen any other divine deity before. H.I. Plus said. In that case, the God who possesses the stone divine deity must be very strong. Jiang Xing looked at Chen Xiang with a little envy. Clutching his chest, Chen Xiang felt the crazily pulsing killing heart. This was actually a set of divine deity, and it was much stronger than what Long Shui had condensed back then. Right now, what I am certain of is that the hidden consciousness within the divine deity was unknowingly suppressed by this kid. So, don't envy him. I plus said, "Back then, Master and I both possessed this divine deity, and we often lost control of it, so we had to use a great amount of power to suppress it." Chen Xiang nodded his head. "Because of the influence of the consciousness inside, I once displayed a terrifying sword strike that was inconsistent with my strength. At that time, I thought that there was a mysterious soul within the killing heart, but who would have thought that it was only the consciousness of the divine deity?" I plus said with a serious expression on his face, "This is somewhat troublesome. This divine deity's subconscious is filled with killing intent. In this period of time, you have to fuse with this divine deity and completely control it. This is the God of Slaughter's divine deity, and it's the kind of perfect state. If you are gradually affected by him, you will become a real God of Slaughterers in the future. Under the influence of the God of Slaughter's subconscious, you will become someone else. This is extremely dangerous." Chen Xiang's face was covered in perspiration. This was exactly what he was worried about the most. "What should I do?" Chen Xiang asked. "Using the heavenly alchemy, refine the divine deity into yours, just like how you refine pills. In the process of refinement, remove all the impurities, and leave behind only useful things." I plus said, "I believe that you can definitely do it using the heavenly alchemy." Chen Xiang nodded. I plus continued, "You cultivated your soul, entered the immortal becoming realm, and fused your dantian into the divine sense C. You now have to transfer your divine deity to the divine sense C and refine it there." "Then what about my heart?" Chen Xiang's heart had previously been destroyed, but the killing heart fused with his body later on. I plus looked at Jiang Xing. "Do you still have more of those things?" Jiang Xing laughed. "There are 3 more. I have preserved them well." Chen Xiang was confused. "What is that thing?" Just as he finished asking, he saw Jiang Xing taking out a jade box. Opening it, there was a heart that was glowing with a silver light. It seemed to be beating strangely, but every time the heart beat, it would release a ray of holy silver light. "This is the sacred heart fruit. When you refine the killing heart into the divine sense C, we will immediately use this sacred heart fruit to replace your missing heart." I plus laughed. He grabbed a sacred heart fruit and smashed it onto the ground, and even ruthlessly clapped a few times. "Do you see that? This thing is very powerful. In the future, with this thing, it will be hard for others to hurt your heart." Jiang Xing also laughed and slapped his hands together. That sacred heart fruit seemed to have the ability to play, and was extremely difficult to break. After replacing your heart with this sacred heart fruit, it can affect your other forms of filth, and even your physical body. This way your body can become stronger, and there aren't many good things like this. I plus chuckled. "Rest assured, go refine the killing God heart. What a powerful saint fruit. I wonder how it would be used to concoct pills." Chen Xiang took out a bunch of creation divine liquid S and said, "Is there any way to split them into 2? Let me see if I can duplicate them." After Chen Xiang cultivated the alive slain method, his creation divine liquid had become a lot more powerful, but he did not go into the depths of the alive slain method to comprehend it, so his current creation divine liquid still could not be compared to LV Qilian's current state. "Senior, have you never created this kind of liquid when you were cultivating the alive slain method in the past?" Chen Xiang was suddenly curious. He wanted to seek I plus S advice. "No, I don't know. The heaven-earth killing method is too complicated, but my main focus is on killing." I plus shook his head, indicating for Jiang Xing to cut it open. Jiang Xing took out a kitchen knife and a chopping board that seemed to be moving very frequently. Grabbing the sacred heart fruit that was jumping like a fish, he pressed it to the chopping board and evenly cut it into 2 sides. Chen Xiang immediately released his God power, and sealed the wound on the sacred heart fruit to prevent it from losing energy. Then, he poured one of it into the creation divine liquid and poured it into a small jade bottle in his hand. Jiang Xing and Qi S. were very surprised after that. They saw that only half of the sacred heart fruit emitted a weak white light, and then it quickly grew into a complete piece. After that, Chen Xiang dripped another half of it, and it became the same as the other half, quickly becoming a complete half again. No wonder that gluttonous dragon would follow you around. It's been such a hard job, why didn't I think of it then? It really is from the alive slain method. Qi S.H.I. slapped his thigh, truly regretting it back then. If I knew that the alive slain method could be used like that, perhaps history would not be like that. And Qi S.H.I. were both surprised that one could become two, and that their speed could even be so fast. Chen Xiang grinned. Since I've used up all of that liquid, I need more time to condense it. Can you leave one for me? Of course. Jiang Xing laughed excitedly. Big Lion, in the future you have to help me make more. In the future, when I meet this Dan Emperor Tanging, I can exchange him for more holy pellet. Chen Xiang laughed. We should exchange some more holy level medicinal ingredients from the Dan Emperor, duplicate more of them out, and then exchange them for divine pellets with him. Haha, that's right. Qi S.H.I. was also very excited. He silently sighed to himself that after living for so many years, he actually didn't know how to use this method. Then I'll start now. You guys watch over me. If I still haven't woken up by then, please help me take a look at that dragon vein. Chen Xiang said. Chen Xiang was worried that if he wasted too much time, the evil dragon graveyard would be besieged and attacked again. Chen Xiang was worried that if he wasted too much time, the evil dragon graveyard would be besieged and attacked again. When the time comes, I'll let the old Jiang go. As long as he takes action, as long as a few guys of the 9 emperors and 5 venerables' level don't appear, he'll be able to deal with them. Qi S.H.I. placed her hand on his shoulder. Rest assured, go cultivate. If you can refine that divine deity, then you will definitely become stronger. Chen Xiang closed his eyes in relief and relaxed his entire body, allowing himself to enter a state of tranquility. He treated himself as a pill furnace and the killing heart as a medicinal ingredient. What he needed to do now was to refine the killing heart, and then think of a way to make it enter the divine sense C, and then solidify it. The killing God heart was extremely STURDY, and a 7-colored sacred fire burned inside Chen Xiang's body. He controlled the flame to wrap the killing heart, wanting to refine it, but it was extremely difficult. Qi S.H.I. and Jiang Xing, who were beside Chen Xiang, could both feel the hot air emitting from Chen Xiang's body. They admired Chen Xiang's current platinum-ranked body, as well as the fact that only a few of them could actually cultivate jade bones in the 9 emperors and 5 venerables, and Chen Xiang would definitely be able to do so in the future. That was just a matter of time. Years ago, in order to refine that rock into the shape of a heart, I took a very long time to succeed. Although his current flame is a 7-colored sacred fire, it is not as tyrannical as my 7-colored sacred fire. Jiang Xing shook his head. He was very familiar with the killing God heart that he and White Tiger had refined together back then. It's hard to say, but this little demon is the most evil, you know. Ice Emperor was killed by him, his physical body and soul were both destroyed, so I'm worried that Devil Emperor would have set his eyes on him very early on. If he has divine deity now, he might become God in the future. Devil Emperor doesn't have the authority to collect the soul of God, Qi S.H.I. said. There's movement. Jiang Xing suddenly shouted. Waves after waves of black qi came out from Chen Xiang's chest. It was a very dense gush of killing intent, constantly erupting out, the imposing manner, made people feel like it was the shocking wave of killing intent on the battlefield. This killing intent has been forced out by him. He's already refining it to force the impurities out. Jiang Xing said in shock. I never thought that he would have figured it out so quickly. Hi plus chuckled. This little brat's pill refining skills are much better than killing people and SCU bags. Maybe he will become a pill saint soon enough. If it was me, I'm afraid I would not know how to refine it. Chen Xiang did not know how he managed to refine the murderous aura condensed inside the killing heart. He only treated his body like a pill furnace and used the techniques in the heavenly alchemy to coordinate with it. With his many years of experience in refining pills, he gradually had a clue. Back then he cultivated the White Tiger Divine Technique and condensed a large amount of killing intent, but now all of it had been released by him. Back then both the White Tiger and Hi Plus had used this killing heart, and at that time, they had also condensed a large amount of killing intent into the killing heart. At this time, it was extremely difficult for Chen Xiang to purify the divine deity without any impurities. When Chen Xiang was concocting pills, he would not feel the passage of time, and it was the same for now. He had been in this state for over a month, and his body was releasing an extremely large amount of killing intent every day. Hi Plus and Jiang Xing were both strong, so they were not affected at all. What shocked Hi Plus and Jiang Xing the most was that a black liquid started to leak out of Chen Xiang's body. This was actually condensed into a liquid form of killing intent. It was all condensed into the divine deity. At this time, Chen Xiang had already increased his strength to remove the impurities. If he did not do this, he would not dare to throw this dangerous killing heart into the divine sense sea. So many. Jiang Xing took out a cauldron and had Hi Plus put the black liquid inside it to burn. If this level of killing intent was leaked to the outside, and touched by some spirit bodies or beasts, a large number of evil spirits and evil beast would be raised. You fellows, your slaughter truly is heavy. Serves you right for going to H.E.L.L. Jiang Xing looked at the black liquid that was continuously flowing out from Chen Xiang's body and kept on flowing out like a gust. Hi plus ing spring. Hi plus said as his brows knitted together, Master and I were definitely unable to condense this much killing intent. How many living creatures did this fellow with the divine deity kill while he was still alive? Jiang Xing shook his head. Maybe what he killed was a god, otherwise he wouldn't have condensed such a terrifying killing intent. But this brat is truly powerful, he can actually force it out, and he won't be affected at all as he has suppressed it for so many years. The current Chen Xiang was extremely terrifying. Black liquid was flowing out of his 7 orifices, and a small hole had been opened up on his chest area. The black liquid that was forced out of the killing heart caused his body to feel extremely bloated, and luckily he had a devil-suppressing golden body, so this evil killing intent had no effect on him. This situation continued for a month. Jiang Xing didn't even know how many cauldrons of black liquid were burned by him, but he and Hi Plus had been busy all day long trying to get rid of the large amount of black liquid flowing out, especially the past few days. This situation had become even more dangerous. What flowed out was not liquid, but black mud like mud, and the concentration was even higher. It's almost been cleared out. No wonder Master and I couldn't suppress that monstrous killing intent back then. So it turns out to be that terrifying. Hi Plus exclaimed. Being able to fall into the hands of this brat can also be considered luck. Otherwise, 9 heaven world would have long been annihilated. Jiang Xing was a little tired and ate a fruit. Someone with this kind of divine deity shouldn't be an evil god who escaped from H.E.L.L., right? Who knows? Hi Plus looked at Chen Xiang's rapidly healing body and laughed. This is a Yulong blood, and also a very pure one. I even thought he was a draconian. Just as he said that, Chen Xiang's body suddenly spewed out a burst of white light, especially at the location of his chest. At the same time that the white light shot out, it produced a terrifying suction force that sucked in all the pure energy from outside. After Chen Xiang channeled his heavenly alchemy, he was already in a dazed state. No matter what happened, how could he know? However, at this moment, he strongly felt a frightening power surging into his divine sense C. The blurry Chen Xiang was woken up by the power that was pouring into the divine sense C, and he became much more clear-headed. At this moment, he could see that the inside of his divine sense C was expanding until it shone with multicolored light. The blurry Chen Xiang was woken up by the power that was pouring into the divine sense C, and he became much more clear-headed. At this moment, he could see that the inside of his divine sense C was expanding until it shone with multicolored light. The killing G-O-D heart has been refined. Chen Xiang felt that his chest was extremely uncomfortable, his heart was beating extremely hard, and was shrinking at the same time. It's about to begin. Ches. Hi plus shouted. Jiang Xing immediately took the sacred heart fruit and went to Chen Xiang's side to feel the changes in his heart. The special powerful multicolored light inside Chen Xiang's divine sense C was gradually expanding, and it hung in the sky above the divine sense C for more than 10 days. His heart was already empty, and when the blood in his entire body stopped flowing, he suddenly felt a cool sensation on his chest. When Jiang Xing discovered that Chen Xiang's killing heart had completely disappeared, he immediately used the sacred heart fruit to press it against Chen Xiang's chest. With a flash of the sacred heart fruit's multicolored light, it miraculously seeped into Chen Xiang's skin and muscles and entered into his heart, quickly fusing with Chen Xiang. The blood flowed through the heart and into the entire body, causing Chen Xiang's body to become scorching hot. This was because the sacred heart was currently refining Chen Xiang's blood, and the strong blood seeped into the muscles and bones, causing his entire body to become even stronger. Refining the divine deity was not as difficult as Chen Xiang had imagined. He had thought that it would take a very long time, but it seems that not only was the progress very smooth, he also used very little time. The cloud of light in the divine sense C was gradually shrinking and starting to solidify. It seemed like the final stage of the core formation stage that he was in was very crucial. I wonder how much benefits I'll get from refining this divine deity. Chen Xiang thought to himself. Because of the appearance of this divine deity in the divine sense C, the ocean water formed by the divine power became restless, frantically surging. If I want to become stronger, then the heavenly Dan should first have to become stronger. The strength of the heavenly pill should have a huge impact on the God power. Chen Xiang revolved the heavenly alchemy, releasing a powerful divine force, compressing the ball of light, in order to condense it. When Chen Xiang was condensing the divine deity, there was a huge change in his body. He did not feel it himself, because at this moment, he was concentrating on condensing his divine deity. The form divine deity is indeed powerful. His bones just evolved for a short period of time, and now under the effects of the divine deity, they have started to become stronger again. It seems like this brat can cultivate jade bones very quickly. Hi plus looked at Chen Xiang's body that was glowing with a purple gold light and couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. That divine deity was broken down by him, and has been newly condensed together. It can be said that it was formed by him himself, and with his strength, he already has a complete set of divine deity. I wonder how strong he will be. Jiang Xing said. Would he directly possess the strength of a God? Hi plus shook his head. That's impossible, his foundation is too weak. He won't directly become a God. It's certain that he'll become stronger, but it's hard to estimate, because there's no such example. Chen Xiang's quick changes in his body were all because of the benefits brought by the divine deity. Right now, he was still in the process of refining pellets. As long as he could condense the loose ball of light coming from divine sensi, he would successfully condense his divine deity. As he was concentrating his divine deity, the Lion Mountain suddenly shook violently. When Chen Xiang felt it, he panicked. "Calm down, don't worry." Hi Plus immediately shouted, telling Chen Xiang to continue and not to lose control of his mind. Hi Plus gave Jiang Xing a meaningful glance, telling him to go out and take a look. To be able to cause such a huge commotion, it must mean that many of the powerful formations here had already been broken through. In order to allow Chen Xiang to cultivate in peace, Hi Plus had released a barrier which allowed him to float in the air and isolate any sound coming from the outside. This way, even if there were any strong tremors outside, it would not be able to affect Chen Xiang. Jiang Xing returned very quickly, and his expression was not very good. "They've attacked us. They won't be able to break through this place in a short period of time." Jiang Xing asked, "Do you want me to go out and fight them? Those fellows that fought their way here shouldn't be weak. What kind of people are they?" Hi Plus thought for a moment and asked. "There are 2 black dragons, they should be L dragons. I never thought that heavenly dragon race would actually raise such things." Jiang Xing's words caused Hi Plus's face to turn solemn. L dragon, this kind of dragon specializes in breaking restrictions and formations. Its strength is not weak either. This is not easy to deal with. Let's wait for this kid to wake up. Besides the 2 L dragoness outside, there are also many powerful sky dragons. My current strength is not what it was in the past. You aren't a professional fighter, so you just have to guard this place well. Hi Plus pondered for a moment and made his decision. Both Hi Plus and Jiang Xing felt a considerable pressure in their hearts. So many years had Pa said for the heavenly dragon race, and they had obtained the support of the Hel Devil Emperor for nothing, so it would be difficult for them to not become strong in this heaven realm which was rich in resources. In their eyes, the Emperor's tomb was a huge threat, and they were worried that the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord would revive back then. "I wonder if we can hold on. If we can't, then we can only fight them." Hi Plus took a deep breath to calm himself down. He was already prepared to fight. There's no other way. This place has been built for too long and is a bit old. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been destroyed so easily. Jiang Xing sighed, took out a spear. "I'll go out and deal with them for a while, give this brat some time." Chen Xiang was also worried about the things that were happening outside, but his priority right now was to condense the divine deity. Maybe he could help when the time comes. Jiang Xing had already left and the Lion Mountain had already stopped shaking. It seemed that Jiang Xing had been surrounded and attacked outside, preventing the group of sky dragons from attacking him again. However, Jiang Xing could not hold on for long, and the Lion Mountain started to shake again. Hi Plus frowned, looked at Chen Xiang and said in a low voice, "As soon as possible, I'm worried that you won't be able to hold on for long here." After he finished speaking, Hi Plus teleported from one of the transmission arrays to the outside. Chen Xiang had heard Hi Plus's words just now, and this gave him quite a bit of pressure. This was because he was extremely pressed for time, and condensing divine deity still required a period of time. The Lion Mountain calmed down, but the fight beside the Lion Mountain was extremely intense. The aftermath of the attack struck the Lion Mountain and was blocked by the powerful formations, causing the Lion Mountain to not be shaken, but the formations could not hold on for long. Under such a situation, even the formations laid out by Jiang Xing would not be able to escape death. It could be imagined how many strong sky dragons came from the heavenly dragon race who were attacking the Lion Mountain. After Chi-S. Hi plus went out to defend the enemy, the energy that was protecting Chen Xiang's barrier gradually weakened. Chen Xiang slowly descended and landed on the ground. The Battle of Dragons. The Battle of Dragons, if this continues, this place will soon be destroyed. I need to hurry up and condense my divine deity. The purple golden glow on Chen Xiang's body flickered rapidly. While he was condensing his divine deity, the bizarre and powerful energy within the divine deity was also altering his physical body, causing him to improve rapidly in every aspect. Boom! A series of violent sounds came up beside Chen Xiang's ears. A huge boulder fell down, and under such a violent attack, the Lion Mountain finally could not hold on anymore, and the boulder above could not help but fall down. Fortunately, the light rays that Chen Xiang released were accompanied by a strong repelling force. If anything approached him, it would bounce away, and even if a huge rock the size of a small mountain were to fall, it would be bounced back by a very strong force. The belly of the Lion Mountain was a very precise place. The rocks continued to fall, causing the ground to shake violently. Rumbling sounds came from all directions and rocks to fly everywhere, while Chen Xiang continued to sit there and concentrate on condensing his divine deity. Otherwise, his previous efforts would have been in vain. The huge stone chamber in the middle of the mountain was now filled with falling rock. The entire mountain had collapsed, and the aftermath of the battle kept on attacking the huge rock. It didn't take long for the huge rocks to shatter and be razed to the ground. Chi-S. Hi plus, you have indeed been resurrected, but so what? You no longer have the strength that you used to have, now we can kill you. A middle-aged man dressed in gorgeous red robes held a huge blade that flickered with red light. On the surface of the blade was carved a mighty red soaring dragon, and this blade looked very similar to the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. Chi-S. Hi plus scoffed, no matter how weak I am, I'll at least eat your 2 sky dragons. You guys might sell yourselves to the L Devil Emperor later on, so what's the point of you living alive? At least we can live, and you have to stay in L and suffer. The red-robed middle-aged man laughed sinisterly, then released a sharp dragon roar, transforming into a blood-red shadow that rushed towards Chi-S. Hi plus. The few gigantic dragons floating in the distance all changed their shape, holding their holy weapons. They surrounded Chi-S. Hi plus and changed into their original form of a giant dragon. They would only consume a lot of energy and their movements would not be as nimble as a human's. In the distance, Jiang Xing was crazily being slashed by 2 black-faced big men. 2 big men in black robes were wielding 2 long black blades in their hands, releasing a black aura that whistled through the air, agilely and powerfully attacking towards Jiang Xing, who was dodging constantly. Chi-S. Hi plus only had 1 sword in his hand, and it was not even a holy sword, but in his hands it was extremely powerful. When he clashed with the holy weapons, he did not lose out to them at all, and he was facing a few heavenly dragons alone. Although he looked like he was being suppressed, his strength made people admire him. He had just revived and was in a very weak state, able to take care of these powerful heavenly dragons. Blood Dragon, I never thought that after so many years, you would still be so useless. Right now, I'm only supporting my body with a weak remnant soul, but you still can't beat me, haha. Chi-S. Hi plus laughed out loud. A vast map of the mountain appeared behind him. The most terrifying thing was that inside the mountains that were as tall as the clouds, beasts were roaring continuously. Hi plus-ing forward. Tens of thousands of huge beasts madly rushed forward while roaring non-stop. Their imposing manner was filled with killing intent and deterrence. Blood Dragon, don't forget my heaven-earth killing method. Chi-S. Hi plus laughed sinisterly. He opened up both his arms and trembled, only to see the sky suddenly cross. Hi plus-ing down a gigantic mountain, bringing with it a majestic chi pressure. It seemed so real, but when it crashed down, it turned into a powerful force that bombarded the bodies of the heavenly dragons. With such a concentrated attack, it was difficult for them to dodge, and they were instantly bombarded dozens of times. Chi Plus had already disappeared. The red-robed middle-aged man was shocked, looking for Chi Plus's location, suddenly hearing a tearing dragon roar. Amongst the chaotic attacks, Chi Plus chose to use an extremely fast sword technique to behead a sky dragon who had been smashed by a huge mountain. Don't try to be brave, release the last two L dragon. A dragon roared. Chi Plus's expression changed because L dragon were currently very powerful. The two big men in black robes that Jiang Xing was facing were like two L dragon. If he were to release two more, he and Jiang Xing would not be able to take it. Seeing how powerful Chi Plus was, the blood dragon did not drag him any longer and threw out two black beads. Two Bals of black mist burst out in the air, and two jet black dragons that emitted a bitter death aura rushed out from the two black mist. Just at this moment, the Lion Mountain that had turned into ruins suddenly shot out a strong burst of white light. The aura that the light carried made both Sky Dragon and L Dragon feel threatened. Attack that place together. The blood dragon roared, the power of the heavenly dragon circulating throughout its entire body suddenly, but Chi Plus's sharp sword had already come SLA's. Hi Plusing over. Just as Hi Plus stopped the blood dragon, the two L Dragon-S that had just appeared spat out two gigantic black beams of light. Bringing with them a very evil and powerful energy, they smashed into the pile of ruins on the ground, transforming into a black, churning wave. The wave roared and churned crazily on the ground, turning the ruins into flat ground. The other sky dragons took advantage of the fact that Hi Plus was being held back by the blood dragon, and started to launch their strongest attacks one after another, releasing many gigantic dragon silhouettes, which emitted a strong multicolored light and brought along more than half of the sky dragon's power to attack the area where the terrifying white light was. UBASTARDS. Hi Plus was furious. He released a roar, the sky suddenly turned black, and a large number of stars appeared, and the stars were getting closer and closer, as though they were going to fall down. Great Luo Tian. Hi Plus's entire body was BRIMMING with killing intent. A huge star suddenly fell from the sky. The star ignited with raging flames, dragging a long tail, as though it had become countless times larger than a meteor, and instantly smashed onto a huge L dragon's body, breaking it at the waist. The star fell to the ground and exploded into a violent wave of fire. A wave of fire that seemed to cover the sky appeared from the ground, engulfing this small SPAC that was separated from the outside world. Hi Plus thought that Chen Xiang was hopeless and couldn't care so much about it. He kept his distance from the heavenly dragons and L dragon and used heaven-earth killing method to attack crazily. The L dragon will not die. The blood dragon sneered. It shattered a star, and an energy Hi Plus ELD appeared around its body to resist the power of the star explosion. The L dragon that was smashed into two pieces by the stars turned into a ball of black energy and gathered together. Then, it turned into a huge black dragon once again. Who said that? The sudden voice made Hi Plus and Jiang Xing happy. It was Chen Xiang's voice. Chen Xiang was indeed in great danger just now, but he had also instantly condensed his divine deity and executed spatial travel, arriving in the air and avoiding the berserk attacks of the L dragon. The blood dragon looked up into the sky. Chen Xiang was dressed in a profound wood diamond armor's robe, holding onto a green dragon demon-slain broadsword. His body was glowing with a silvery white light. Green dragon demon-slain broadsword. This fellow is Chen Xiang. The blood dragon had just finished speaking, but Chi-S. H.I. Plus had already slashed out a few times, causing him to be distracted and almost got hit by Chi-S. H.I. Plus. Chen Xiang shouted, "Leave these H.E.L. dragon to me." Chen Xiang, who had fused with the divine deity, broke through the 9th cycle of the sacred transformation and immediately became a saint. Adding his green dragon demon-slain broadsword and his devil-suppressing kung fu, it was the most appropriate choice to deal with these H.E.L. dragon. "Then be careful," Chi-S. H.I. Plus shouted. The holy devil-suppressing seal appeared in Chen Xiang's palm. He merged the holy devil-suppressing seal into the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, causing it to suddenly become extremely huge, like a gigantic blade that could split heaven and earth. On the blade, there were words that flashed with a shock sound. He agilely brandished the gigantic blade, chopping towards the H.E.L. dragon that had just recovered and cut it into two again. This time, the H.E.L. dragon roared, clearly sensing the threat Chen Xiang posed to him. "This kind of thing is best to kill." Chen Xiang sneered, and from the sky above the cut H.E.L. dragon, a heavenly-like holy devil-suppressing seal, like the heavens collapsing, quickly came across. H.I. plus ing down SMAs. H.I. plus ing onto the body of the severed H.E.L. dragon. The H.E.L. dragon that was suppressed by the holy seal started to struggle madly, and the black chi that was emitted from its body was melted by the divine light released by the holy devil-suppressing seal, causing the H.E.L. dragon S to turn into black dust that sprinkled onto the ground. "You killed the H.E.L. dragon, aren't you afraid of being targeted by the H.E.L. Devil Emperor?" The blood dragon immediately became terrified. These H.E.L. dragon were borrowed from the H.E.L. Devil Empress. They were extremely powerful, but now they were all killed by Chen Xiang in a matter of seconds. Chen Xiang looked at the other furious H.E.L. dragon. At this time, his divine blade had already changed to its original form, and the holy seal was back in his hands. As long as there were no H.E.L. dragon's threats, Chi-S. H.I. plus S pressure would not be that great. "Don't bother with the H.E.L. dragon S, kill him with the 2 fire dragons and bring the H.E.L. dragon over here." The blood dragon saw that Chen Xiang's holy devil-suppressing seal and the devil-suppressing magic power had a huge killing power towards the evil demon and immediately made arrangements. At the same time, it used all its strength to suppress Chi-S. H.I. plus and prevent him from killing them during the exchange. "Don't even think about succeeding." Chi-S. H.I. plus threw a palm attack towards the 2 sky dragons that were Rus. H.I. plus ing towards Chen Xiang, but part of it was shattered by the blood dragon, but the other 2 heavenly dragons that were in the human form were still shaken to the point where they vomited blood. That H.E.L. dragon had already distanced itself from Chen Xiang and came to the blood dragon sect to deal with Chi-S. H.I. plus together. In the distant Jiangxing, dealing with 2 H.E.L. dragon by himself was already extremely strenuous, and he couldn't care about Chen Xiang and Chi-S. H.I. plus S side. Chen Xiang looked at the 2 flying sky dragons and gripped his divine blade tightly. He could already tell that the 2 sky dragons had consumed a lot of energy, otherwise they wouldn't have been injured by Chi-S. H.I. plus just now. The 2 sky dragons that were charging over were very fast. When they were in their human form, although their strength had decreased by a lot, they were still very agile. The holy sword in their hands glowed brightly, giving off a strong aura. The two sky dragons that were charging over were very fast. When they were in their human form, although their strength had decreased by a lot, they were still very agile. The holy sword in their hands glowed brightly, giving off a strong aura. However, the speed of these two sky dragons had become extremely, very slow in Chen Xiang's eyes. At this moment, he had an extremely strong feeling in his heart, making him feel that he could easily kill these two sky dragons. Boom! The G.O.D. power that Chen Xiang channeled from the divine sense C into his body suddenly collapsed and exploded, releasing a burst of extremely terrifying energy that quickly circulated through his meridians and muscles, striking against each other and exploding out wave after wave. This was the prelude to the time when he was displaying that bizarre sword technique. Feeling this bizarre and terrifying energy gush out, Chen Xiang slowed everything in front of him. The middle-aged man who was the first to charge forward actually slashed with his sword at an extremely fast speed, so fast that even their eyes could not catch hold of him, but in his eyes the sword continued to hack downwards. Chen Xiang swiftly brandished his blade and slashed downwards from top to bottom. His blade was extremely fast, it looked as though he had never moved it, but a new line of blood appeared on the upper half of the middle-aged man's body, from his waist to his left arm. His body was slashed into two halves by Chen Xiang. The other sky dragon could not even see Chen Xiang's blade, but he realized that his companion's chi was wrong, and he knew that something was wrong. He had already unleashed a slash, and although he thought that it was extremely fast, it was extremely slow in Chen Xiang's eyes. If you guys hadn't come over, you might have been able to live longer. Chen Xiang slashed out again with his blade casually. It seemed like a casual slash, but the power contained within and the speed was Astoni's. Hi+ing, the killing move of his had already reached its peak. With two slashes, the twin dragons became four pieces, dying much simpler and faster than the L dragon just now. When the blood dragon saw him, it roared crazily and was about to rush towards Chen Xiang, but Chi-S Hi+ would not let it succeed. Chen Xiang took out the divine cauldron and placed the two dead dragons inside. They had consumed a lot of energy in this battle, so they would need to have a full meal after the fight. Senior Jiang, I'm here to help you. While Chen Xiang was speaking, he took a step forward and traveled through SPAC, arriving behind a black-robed man. The devil-suppressing magic power rushed into the divine blade and quickly slashed at the black-robed man. These L dragons were much stronger than the two from before. Chen Xiang's two slashes only left 2 lines of black qi flowing out of their bodies. But it was already good as Jiang Xing had stabbed them dozens of times, and did not even have a single hole. These L dragon were very difficult to kill. After they were injured, their wounds released a ball of black qi, and in the blink of an eye they were healed. This makes me feel much more relaxed. Jiang Xing laughed. He only wanted to fight L dragon now, so he wasn't as nervous as before. The black-clothed man's blade wounds had yet to heal, making him extremely cautious. Just now, he had seen Chen Xiang use the sacred seal to crush L dragon to death. The strength of the L dragon was much stronger than the normal sky dragons, but the evil chi on them was very strong, and their bodies were filled with evil force. Chen Xiang, using the green dragon demon-slaying broadsword and devil-suppressing magic power to attack them, had a fatal blow to them. Demon Abyss. Both of his hands danced, and suddenly, a black hole formed from countless black snakes encircling Chen Xiang. It was so deep that the bottom couldn't be seen, and there was even a strong suction force. Chen Xiang was pulled down by the suction force. In the blink of an eye, half of his body had submerged into the demon abyss. The moment he was wrapped by the demon abyss, 2 gigantic scimitars appeared in the hands of the black-clothed man in the sky. Both of his hands moved quickly, SLAs. HI+ing out countless of black blade images, which turned into a sharp blade filled with evil qi, flying straight towards Qin Xiang's head. Qin Xiang roared, his body releasing golden light all over, a burst of divine and vast aura surging out in all directions. The black vortex that engulfed half of his body instantly collapsed, and the blade images that flew over were all cleansed by the divine light on his body and dissipated. Demon Sealing Array. The golden light that shot out from Qin Xiang's body was a wave of pure and powerful divine power that shone towards the man. Following his mind's control, the energy turned into 6 devil-suppressing qi arrays, and enveloped the black-clothed man from all directions. The 6 golden sides of the devil-suppressing qi array turned into a cage, sealing the Hel dragon inside. The black-clothed man felt that he was facing an unprecedented threat and roared continuously, wanting to turn into a huge dragon and break out of the cage. The black aura on his body surged out crazily, but was completely purified by the devil-suppressing qi array. Qin Xiang suddenly leaped into the air, the divine blade in his hand shone brightly, filled with righteousness, and a wave of pure and hot devil-suppressing magic power continued to fly out from the blade. Demon Slaying Slash. Qin Xiang's mind suddenly surged with a technique. He subconsciously activated it, and the God power in the divine sense C surged, surging into his body, transforming into a burst of extremely hot power that instantly entered the God blade. The green dragon demon-slaying broadsword flashed with light, and a soaring dragon roared out, bringing with it the divine power. It rushed towards the middle-aged man locked in the devil-suppressing qi array, and pierced through his robust and struggling body. A mournful roar shook the horizon, and the devil-suppressing qi array scattered. A ball of ashes flew out, and another Hel dragon was killed by Qin Xiang. Just as Qin Xiang finished dealing with the Hel dragon, the Hel dragon that was fighting with Jiang Xing also let out a low roar, and was immediately scattered by the multicolored light the sword saint shot out from a mirror. At this time, only Qi Hi+ was there. Qin Xiang and Jiang Xing looked at each other and smiled, then rushed to Qi Hi+'s battlefield. The blood dragon knew that the 2 Hel dragon had died, but he was unwilling to retreat just like that. Originally, they had held the advantage, but who knew that Qin Xiang's sudden appearance would cause them to lose 3 Hel dragons and 2 sky dragons. When Qin Xiang arrived on the battlefield, he immediately unleashed a sharp attack, Unleash Hi+ing the holy devil-suppressing seal and the strongest devil-suppressing magic power. Then, he used his mind to control the colossal mountain-like print and crazily smashed it onto the Hel dragon that had transformed into a huge dragon. Although the Hel dragon had transformed into its original form, and had a thick dragon body that was tens of thousands of meters long, it had a huge killing power. It turned into a 30,000-foot tall mountain. Its movement speed was extremely fast, closely followed by the huge dragon body, which continuously smashed down, as if it was beating a small snake with a hammer. Hel dragon with powerful evil power, its strength was comparable to half of a strong of Lord Stage, but it was still forced to flee and howl by Qin Xiang, and it was in a very sorry state. "You can die now." Qin Xiang saw that the Hel dragon was struggling to stay alive. It released its divine blade and merged with the holy devil-suppressing seal, causing long and sharp blades to appear from the bottom of the holy devil-suppressing seal. It then controlled the holy seal to smash the Hel dragon's head to the ground, turning the entire head into ashes. Just by fusing with his divine deity, his strength had reached such a level that it left Qi H.I+ and Jiang Xing gasping in shock. They were certain that even if Qin Xiang had to face 2 Hel dragon, he would be able to do it easily. Just by fusing with his divine deity, his strength had reached such a level that it left Chi Plus and Jiang Xing gasping in shock. They were certain that even if Chen Xiang had to face two L dragon, he would be able to do it easily. 2 more sky dragons had died in the blood dragon's camp. Now that Chen Xiang and Jiang Xing had come to help Chi Plus, the pressure on him was immense. Withdraw. The blood dragon was unwilling to give up. Moreover, he had lost so many lives, so he would definitely be punished. However, if he were to continue like this, he feared that he would die here. You want to leave? Chi Plus suddenly roared. His body shone with a white light and transformed into a white lion. His body was not very big, just like a small house. This was the original body of the 10 Heavens' Supreme Lord, a white lion. Chen Xiang never thought that it would be so small. Even the super old fire beast was bigger than him. After Chi Plus changed back into his original form, both Chen Xiang and Jiang Xing could clearly feel that his strength had increased by a lot. Jiang Xing gave Chen Xiang a meaningful glance and shook his head, signaling him not to go and help. Is there really no problem? Chen Xiang asked. No problem, Chi Plus has changed into his original body. If we go over there, we might even be affected by the power he used. Jiang Xing said. Chen Xiang didn't go over, instead. He and Jiang Xing floated in the air and watched the distance. The blood dragon and a few sky dragons had already run very far, charging towards a spatial crack at the edge of the crack. The speed of Chi Plus, who had turned into a white lion, was extremely fast. Like a white light, he directly flew over and continuously let out angry roars. Chi Plus had already caught up with the group of fleeing sky dragons. Just as the group of sky dragons was about to rush out of the crevice, a white light surged out of Chi Plus's body, and with his body as the center, a whirlpool of light appeared. The whirlpool started to spin crazily, absorbing the huge mountains and the thick layer of soil on the ground all around. As the vortex of white light started to spin crazily, the dozens of mountains and thick layer of soil that were engulfed disappeared, as if they had turned into mist. Chen Xiang now understood why Jiang Xing did not let him pass. It was because it would hinder Chi Plus from using this terrifying technique. What is this? It doesn't look like a heaven-earth killing method. Chen Xiang said in shock, because there was no killing intent at all. As a heaven-earth killing method cultivator, he understood this very well. This is Chi Plus' special ability, an extremely powerful power of the ancient code. Very few people know about this, and the enemies who know about him controlling the power of the ancient code are usually dead. Jiang Xing chuckled. This law energy is called returning to its original form by him. Because after being locked on by this law energy, it will turn into its original state. Chen Xiang finally understood that the mountain dust that had been engulfed by the power earlier had all transformed into the most primitive state of energy. If those sky dragons were struck, the outcome would be obvious, as they would all transform into energy. Destroying this place of mine like this, you want to just leave like this? Truly delusional. Chi Plus roared. The sky dragon that was originally trying to escape was now sucked back by the white vortex he released. After being sucked into the white vortex, Chen Xiang immediately saw various types of multicolored light erupting and struggling as huge dragons roared. Following the white vortex, they revolved around Chi Plus. I'll go seal that hole to prevent the energy here from leaking out. Absorb some of it here, and the energy of those heavenly dragons will be pure. Jiang Xing disappeared from where he was. Chen Xiang could already see a large mass of colorful energy floating towards him, which was visible to the naked eye. This energy was extremely dense and could be seen directly. Chen Xiang immediately activated his energy to absorb it. The speed at which he absorbed it was extremely fast, causing the energy around him to become a small vortex that crazily surged towards his body. After he had completed the 9 revolutions saint, he had an extremely terrifying divine power in his body. His strength could no longer be measured using common sense, and this was all thanks to the efforts of his divine deity. Chi Hi+ was in the middle of the ball of energy, absorbing it the fastest. After this round, Chi Hi+ was extremely dissatisfied with his own strength. If he had the kind of strength from back then, he could have killed off this group of small fries with a single hand. Only now did Chen Xiang realize how powerful Chi Hi+ was. He was able to absorb the energy very quickly, like how a cow drinks water. Jiang Xing and Chen Xiang had absorbed less than half of what Chi Hi+ had absorbed in total. In just 3 days, the 3 of them had completely wiped out the energy released by the group of sky dragons. The Lion Mountain had already been destroyed and the comfortable hall was gone. This small space that was separated from the 9 heavens became much dimmer. After many battles, another hole had been opened. The Dragon Emperor of the Heavenly Dragon race did not personally make a move. Chi Hi+ laughed out loud. Chen Xiang took out the corpses of the 2 sky dragons that he had killed, preparing to have a full meal. After taking them, Jiang Xing skillfully peeled off the dragon's scales, took out the dragon pearls, and took out all the useful things. After they finished eating, Jiang Xing and Chi Hi+ started to check Chen Xiang's body. "Seniors, what is my current strength?" "I have already said the 9 cycle of sage transformation." Chen Xiang replied, "Right now, he should be considered a saint immortal. No, what you possess now is a divine power. With divine deity, only your body is not a divine body, so although your divine power is a little weaker, if you continue to cultivate slowly, you will become stronger sooner or later. You should be considered half ag. Chi Hi+ frowned as he looked at Chen Xiang. "Right now, I'm not sure what kind of strength you have. Since you haven't truly used it once, it's hard to judge." Jiang Xing nodded. "I never thought that divine deity would be so powerful, but you do not have a certain level of foundation yourself, nor do you have the ability to control that divine deity. Your divine power is too weak when compared to your divine deity, and your physical body cannot keep up with it. If you use the heaven-earth killing method and divine weapon, it would be very scary. Your current mastery of the heaven-earth killing method is still too little, but I don't recommend that you master those killing moves of the heaven-earth killing method to be of no benefit to you." Chi Hi+ said, "You just need to learn more about the alive slain method. It will be beneficial to you in refining pills. If you use too much of the killing power of the heaven-earth killing method, the purifying divine deity would turn into killing divine deity. If you want to become a god in the future, the less vicious aura you have, the better." Chen Xiang understood what Chi Hi+ meant. It was to let him take the lead in pill refining. When I was suppressed in HELL, there were a lot of people who were suppressed along with me. I understood that HELL Devil Emperor was a guy who had a lot of killing intent, and in the end, God's realm took him in to help him manage HELL. When I was suppressed in HELL, there were a lot of people who were suppressed along with me. I understood that HELL Devil Emperor was a guy who had a lot of killing intent, and in the end God's realm took him in to help him manage HELL. Hi+ laughed mischievously. "If you wanted to learn more about the heaven-earth killing method, that's why you have to use the killing great technique. You might end up fighting the HELL Devil Emperor for a spot in the future, but you don't want to stay in that Ned HELL, right?" However, in the future, according to what you have done, you will cultivate a strong power of consciousness inside your divine deity. The stronger the power of consciousness, in the future, you will be able to unleash your own unique strength as you wish. For example, if you refine pills, your main cultivation direction will definitely be in the areas of fire and mental control. Chen Xiang nodded, then asked, "Back then, what sort of consciousness did the Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord have?" Chi plus curled his lip. "That craving dragon thinks of eating all day, and I had that thought all day long during that time. Moreover, there's still a little something in the female dragon's heart. Evil." The corner of Chen Xiang's mouth twitched. She doesn't have divine deity now, but she's still that gluttonous and lecherous. She was like this in the first place, so she had this very strong consciousness in her divine deity. Back then, the same thing happened in the killing heart, so after I merged with my master, I often lost control and started killing. Hi plus sighed. It's also because of this that my master was turned into a god of slaughter, and I subconsciously wanted to go around killing everything, so my being the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord in the end probably has something to do with this. Chen Xiang had gathered all the heaven-earth killing method, and if he were to consider long-term, he might have to give up on a portion of them, and instead choose to cultivate a live slain method and slain method to strengthen his own spirit, and a live slain method could be used for medicinal ingredients. As for the ones that he could use in battle, he had already grasped a lot, and that was enough. "I'm going back, those guys are preparing to attack me, maybe the heavenly dragon race will come too," Chen Xiang said. "Do you want us to go? If the Dragon Emperor appears, I think we can still stop him." Hi plus said. Chen Xiang laughed. "Your master promised me that when the time comes, he will come over to help. His white tiger fighting race is very powerful, but you all can go watch the show. I don't have the face to see him right now." Hi plus sighed. "When he sees me, he will definitely despise me greatly and throw his soul into hell. Chen Xiang was worried about Long Shui. If Long Shui were to meet him, arguing over divine deity would definitely cause a huge ruckus. "Then are you going or not?" Chen Xiang patted his butt and prepared to leave. Jiangxing said, "I think it's better that we don't go. Great Lion King, please come with me to refine divine weapons. This guy needs a Suzaku divine weapon, I need some helpers." Chen Xiang understood what Jiangxing meant, and immediately took out the vermilion bird's skeleton and placed the bones inside the divine furnace, before handing over the divine hammer to Jiangxing. After Jiangxing received it, he laughed bitterly. "I've just met the heavens, and I've returned to my usual blacksmithing business." Chen Xiang thought for a moment, then asked, "Senior Jiang, my wife is also an artificer, I wonder if I can make them your assistants, could you teach them some skills while I'm at it?" It seems that you have quite a few wives." Jiangxing chuckled, as if he understood what he meant. "No problem." Chen Xiang replied, "Only 2. Furthermore, there is also a female slave. Rest assured, they are all extremely talented, they have all studied the divine book that you left behind, and the Suzaku Bao's blueprints were found by them." "That's for the best." Jiangxing laughed. Afterwards, Chen Xiang told Jiangxing where he knew Lu Menger and Xue Xianxian might be. "I never thought that it would be old Bing's descendant. The descendant he left behind can guard this place for many years, we must really thank them." Hi plus said, "At the very least, I have to help them take back what belongs to old Bing." Chen Xiang asked, "What is it?" "His ice dragon sword is with me." "It's not a ice dragon sword, it's a thing that an ice dragon is born with. Back then, it was sucked out by a few powerful old dragons, and the last few old dragons went missing. If his supreme dragon blood is still alive, then I might not have to die." When Hi plus spoke of this matter, He was extremely indignant. Where is the supreme dragon blood? Chen Xiang immediately thought of a place. Heavenly Dragon Realm. The Dragon Emperor and the 4 dragons back then had worked together to plot against Old Ice, pulling out Old Ice's supreme dragon blood and then being split up by them. The supreme dragon blood's usage is no different from divine deity, so you can imagine how precious it is. H.I. Plus scoffed, "It's a pity that we didn't reach the Heavenly Dragon Realm back then and didn't know they were hiding inside. Otherwise, where would they be right now?" Chen Xiang said, "When the time comes, go to Heavenly Dragon Realm and call me over. The one in charge of everything in Ice Dragon race is my sister, and with the grace of the Ice Dragon ancestor and me, I will also do my best." "No problem, old Jiang and I will go find those small ice dragons first to understand the situation." H.I. Plus nodded and sighed. "In the past, I died too early and didn't even have the chance to repay those old friends, now I have to repay them." Jiang Xing took out an array disc that he placed on the ground. The 3 of them stood up, and after activating the transmission array, they appeared in the cold ancient realm outside. This place is still so cold. Just because a god that cultivates the power of ice died here, it has affected us for so many years. H.I. Plus exclaimed, "There used to be a group of mysterious people living here. Back then, they seemed to have all been slaughtered. Where is that divine tomb? There is a very powerful dragon vein underneath it." Chen Xiang told H.I. Plus and Jiang Xing about the matter of Devil Continent's grave. He missed the place Chen Xiang was born from very much, but that place had long turned upside down. That god should be able to revive. It seems like he was the guy who hunted down those exiled gods back then. In the end, he also died from his injuries, but the underworld wouldn't dare to accept this kind of person's soul, so he can still be revived. Hopefully this guy is a good person. I heard that the people who guarded the tomb for him all have a huge future. H.I. Plus said. Jiang Xing opened transmission array once again, and teleported them to a remote place above continent of the king. After that, he split up and returned to his own evil dragon graveyard, where Jiang Xing and H.I. Plus were. Chen Xiang found a city. When he wanted to teleport to the city closest to Evil Dragon Graveyard, he was told that all the cities nearby had long since been moved and were very far away from the nearest city. However, he still teleported. Chen Xiang did not know where he was currently in the city. He only needed to ask the person in charge of managing the transmission array, and he would be asked by that person to step onto the more common transmission array. Chen Xiang did not know where he was currently in the city. He only needed to ask the person in charge of managing the transmission array, and he would be asked by that person to step onto the more common transmission array. After coming here, he found out that this city was not simple at all. It had been built not long ago, and was called the Holy City of the Realm. The people who were currently gathered here were mostly employed by some major powers. At that time, as long as they could break through the evil dragon graveyard, kill the disciples of the Dragon Subduing School, and hand over their heads and the Dragon Subduing School's keepsake, they would be able to obtain generous rewards. In order to obtain a large amount of spiritual crystal, many people would have to partake. 1p8. This would bring a lot of pressure to the Dragon Subduing School, and upon knowing about this, Chen Xiang felt that it was not good. At that time, if Dragon Subduing School causes too big of a massacre, then those great powers will have a better excuse to discredit Dragon Subduing School. Chen Xiang's heart suddenly became heavy. The streets were now covered with these kinds of summoning orders, and many youths were excitedly forming groups for help. If a lot of people partake 1p8, then many unrelated people would definitely die. Although those greedy people wanted to die, Chen Xiang did not want Dragon Subduing School to become an evil force that was hated by the 9 heaven world. He had to admit that with so many great powers joining hands to attack the evil dragon graveyard, it had caused a huge impact. This caused some of the people who were still young and inexperienced to think that the dragon subduing school belonged to one of those evil forces. The reason why the holy city of the heavenly region was so close to the evil dragon graveyard was so that they could have the dragon veins and could develop quickly in this place. Chen Xiang looked at the bounty orders on the streets and started to think about how he would deal with this situation. At that time, the people who would partake 1p8 in the battle would not only be the superpowers, but also some small and medium-sized forces. The reason why the holy city is so large is to accommodate more people. When the time comes, this place will become the main city for the transport of combat strength. Chen Xiang looked around and discovered that there were a lot of large transmission arrays in the city. What made him gratified was that he had found some secret records left behind by Huang Jintian. From those records, he could tell that Huang Jintian was hiding inside the city right now. Huang Jintian had previously separated from him in the profound cold ancient realm and brought that group of ice dragons to find Long Huishan. When the time came, Huang Jintian would partake 1p8 in the great battle, and he would have great authority in the dragon subduing school. Chen Xiang followed the scrolls and found Huang Jintian. Huang Jintian set up shop on the side of the street, the kind of person who specialized in fortune-telling. His current appearance looked like a big trick, but he had an unlimited lifespan, able to use heaven extended method to predict the future without restraint. After changing his appearance, Chen Xiang went over to Huang Jintian's stall, extended his hand out and smiled. "Old sir, please see when I can make a fortune." Huang Jintian did not recognize Chen Xiang, since Chen Xiang was also testing his disguise. If even Huang Jintian could not tell what it was, then it would be even more difficult for others. Huang Jintian looked listless as he slowly opened his eyes and looked at the center of Chen Xiang's palm. Seeing Huang Jintian's playful expression, Chen Xiang laughed. "Did you notice anything?" Huang Jintian coughed and said, "If you want to know, you have to give it to the spiritual crystal." "How much?" Chen Xiang asked. With Huang Jintian's current appearance, he was not sure if she had already recognized him. 5,000 spiritual crystal for one question, Huang Jintian said slowly. From the looks of it, he did not look like he was doing business. He was indeed not doing business, but waiting. Chen Xiang really did take out 5,000 spiritual crystal and then asked, "I want to know if the evil dragon graveyard will be taken down." Huang Jintian did not think that he would actually run into a problem where a blind cat had gotten into a dead mouse. "We can't," Huang Jintian said confidently. Chen Xiang took out another 5,000 spiritual crystal and asked again, "When can I make a huge profit?" Huang Jintian said, "In about another 2 years or so, even if you are sleeping, you will be smashed awake by the treasures." Huang Jintian only treated Chen Xiang as a fool, so he spoke some nonsense. "Master, don't lie to me." Chen Xiang laughed. After hearing these words, Huang Jintian immediately reacted, and scolded with a smile. "Little b, a-s-t, a-r-d, I had thought that you had already died in profound cold ancient realm, but I heard that there are many sky dragons over there." Huang Jintian was extremely curious about Chen Xiang entering Emperor's tomb, and really wanted to know. 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord and Divine Craftsman have been resurrected, and now they have come out, but 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord no longer have the same strength as back then. Chen Xiang snickered. "So you're saying, we will definitely win this battle?" Huang Jintian said excitedly. "That may not be so. I heard that with a heavenly dragon realm, the heavenly dragon race above us is the biggest threat." Chen Xiang sighed. "Tell me the latest situation." "Around 10 days they will begin their attack. However, they don't have a good plan for the attack yet. I heard that in 2 days, they will hold a meeting and choose the strongest person to command the battlefield." Huang Jintian said. I don't think there's any suspense at all. This is basically set up for the immortals of the heavenly realm. It's just a formality, to hand over the command to those people from the heavenly realm. That's right, those fellows from the heavenly region are very strong. There aren't many in the 9-heaven world that can defeat them. Chen Xiang nodded his head. At the same time, it is to give a stage for those experts in the heavenly region to display their strength, so that people can witness their strength and feel reverence for them. That's it. Chen Xiang chuckled. If I can get the commanding authority, do you think they would recognize me? Huang Jintian laughed and said, Then you have to command them to attack Evil Dragon Graveyard. With you as the commander, it will be much easier to take them down. Will those two even fight? With the Partic 1P, Asian of the 2 top rankers, 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord and Divine Craftsman, it was easy to imagine. Chen Xiang shook his head. I won't let them come. If possible, this kind of great battle is best not to erupt. It's clear that someone is instigating a great war to let more people die. As long as someone died, the evil spirits of the infernal realm would fight for it, and the only benefit would be the Hel Devil Emperor. The ones who initiated this war were all strong warriors from the heaven realm and had been bribed by the Hel Devil Emperor. After knowing about Hel Devil Emperor's conspiracy, Chen Xiang did not want to be led astray. Huang Jintian was more familiar with the matters of the Hel Devil Emperor. As long as more people died in 9-heaven world, the more joyous it would be. Huang Jintian was more familiar with the matters of the Hel Devil Emperor. As long as more people died in 9-heaven world, the more joyous it would be. Then what do you plan to do? The little Yun and the rest have already brought a group of people here, and the Ice Dragon clan has agreed to Partic 1P8. Hundreds of Flowers Palace of the Hundreds of Flowers Palace has also expressed her opinion that she will definitely help you pass through this crisis. Huang Jintian said. Hundreds of Flowers Palace, who has always been relatively neutral, will oppose those superpowers this time. This is not Flower Emperor's usual style. Looks like you and her have a good relations. Hi+P. I told this woman not to interfere in this matter. Chen Xiang sighed. You go tell Xiao Dao and the rest to withdraw all the people hiding here, then inform Flower Emperor to not act rashly. It's best if you cancel all the plans and leave everything to me. You can do it alone. Huang Jintian and Chen Xiang had only been separated for a few months. At that time, the two of them were only at the same level of strength, and now that Chen Xiang had said such words, he must have become a lot stronger. However, it had only been a few months. How strong could he be? We are the Dragon Subduing School, and the ones we have to deal with are those evil heavenly dragon race. In the future, you have to teach them some tricks to take away even their souls when they slay a dragon. For the Hel Devil Emperor, a dragon soul is a great tonic for them. Chen Xiang laughed mischievously. We specialize in killing dragons, so forget it. If we kill people, we wouldn't even bother to do business. Alright, I'd like to see how you deal with it on your own. When the time comes, don't let it get out of hand. Huang Jintian said. If the war resulted in a large amount of death, it would only make the Hel Devil Emperor the biggest winner in the end. Body wished for the Hel Devil Emperor to become strong, because after they became strong, the Hel Devil Emperor would definitely come looking for them. If they did not give in at that time, they would only die. Then do you have any plans? Huang Jintian looked at the faint golden clouds floating in the sky. That is the sacred energy that was emitted when the gates to the heavenly region opened. Chen Xiang also raised his head and looked over, saying, I have a plan for the time being. I will settle this matter. Master, what kind of existence is that devil-killing summit at a time like this? Why is there no activity within this mysterious organization? How do you know there's no movement? That night devil L is making a huge ruckus right now, and if not for the fact that devil-killing summit is there, a large group of powerful night devil might have already escaped. They're only a small number here right now. Huang Jintian said. I feel that the devil-killing summit is the strongest power after the time of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. I'm not sure about the specifics, but if you have enough strength in the future, go and take a look. Huang Jintian packed up his stall and left, to find Yun Xiaodao and the others, to get them to leave this place, and to pass on the message to LV Qilian and the Ice Dragon race. The tall building at the far end of Qinxiang City was the devil-suppressing Divine Palace. In the distance, there was a fiery red building, which was the Fire Divine Palace. Lord Hallmaster of Devil-Suppressing Divine Palace, you should abdicate. Chen Xiang walked towards the devil-suppressing Divine Palace, his movement extremely fast, and in the blink of an eye, he had said through the entire street. Although some people noticed him, no one could clearly see his figure. In a few blinks of the eye, he arrived at devil-suppressing Divine Palace's door and strode in. Upon entering the first floor, he released a vast amount of divine power to search for the head palace master. In 2 more minutes, there would be a meeting to choose the commander. By this time, the strongest experts from all the major powers would be in their own homes. Chen Xiang quickly found the hall master and with a flash, he disappeared from the great hall, causing panic to many disciples of the devil-suppressing Divine Palace. They could already see that the person before them was extraordinary. The Lord Hallmaster of the devil-suppressing Divine Palace was an expert of the immortal becoming realm, probably around the 7th cycle of the sacred transformation. At this moment, he was sitting cross-legged on his bed, closed his eyes and resting. When Chen Xiang arrived in front of the Hall Master, he was not discovered. This Lord Hallmaster was an old man wearing a pale golden robe. His hair and beard were a little yellow, and the wrinkles on his face were very obvious. Chen Xiang took out a small holy devil-suppressing seal and imprinted it on the forehead of the Hall Master. When he felt something touch his forehead, the head palace master suddenly woke up. Just as he was about to resist, he discovered that underneath his sitting position was a very powerful demon sealing array, causing him to be unable to move. The holy devil-suppressing seal is on your forehead right now. Holy devil-suppressing seal has a usage, which is to test whether the disciples of the devil-suppressing Divine Palace are sincere to devil-suppressing Divine Palace or not. Chen Xiang said gloomily, "You should have heard of this usage. You are a disciple of the devil-suppressing Divine Palace. As long as you have the thought of betraying the devil-suppressing Divine Palace, this seal will make you wish you were dead." Chen Xiang laughed mischievously, and then, he moved the holy devil-suppressing seal away. On the forehead of the Hall Master, there was a small golden Zhen word, which gradually disappeared into the Hall Master's forehead. This main Hall Master had the intention to kill Chen Xiang, but his whole body inexplicably hurt, telling him to put that thought away immediately. Otherwise, if he continued, he would die from the pain. Since Chen Xiang possessed a holy devil-suppressing seal, he should be the devil-suppressing Divine Palace's head palace master. If he wanted to kill the head palace master, it would be betraying the devil-suppressing Divine Palace. At this time, the head palace master thought of another matter. This judgment seal wasn't something that anyone could use. Only those who said the 9 revolutions sage realm could use it. Although Chen Xiang used his other face, the head palace master was clear that the person in front of him was Chen Xiang, and only Chen Xiang owned a holy devil-suppressing seal. The head palace master is still yours for the time being, but you must obey my arrangements. Otherwise, you won't be able to blame me if you court death. Chen Xiang withdrew his holy devil-suppressing seal, stared at him, and said coldly, "Everything is fine." The head palace master sighed. With such terrifying strength, even if Chen Xiang didn't use the judgment seal to deal with him, he still had to submit to Chen Xiang. The Lord Hallmaster's name was Su Ting, and facing Chen Xiang now, he respected him as if he were facing a devil-suppressing heavenly venerable. His adaptability was strong, and he immediately started chatting and laughing with Chen Xiang. You should know that Flower Emperor is devil-suppressing heavenly venerable's daughter. She has more devil-suppressing methods than you, so after this matter is over, you have to go and find her and have a talk. If she is willing to take over devil-suppressing Divine Palace, you have to hand it over to her, but she most likely isn't. She still has a Hundreds of Flowers Palace, but you have to follow her orders to manage devil-suppressing Divine Palace in the future. Chen Xiang said. Of course. Su Ting nodded his head. We will be attacking the evil dragon graveyard soon. When the time comes, what should I do? If I suddenly leave, those heavenly realms will never let me go. Chen Xiang asked. Are you preparing to choose a commander, and what method will you use? Chen Xiang asked. Are you preparing to choose a commander, and what method will you use? Su Ting suddenly understood Chen Xiang's intention and quickly said, however, they are all very strong and they are all for the Sky Realm rankers. Let's see how you prepare for your closed-door training here. When the time comes, will you be parting? 1. Aiding as well? If I am not strong enough, my devil-suppressing Divine Palace will be looked down upon. In the eyes of those powers in the Heaven Realm, our status will become very low. Su Ting sighed. Make the arrangements for me to fight when the time comes. Chen Xiang replied. Don't worry, I won't screw this up. Su Ting couldn't say anything. He was just a little worried that Chen Xiang would drag him down. He didn't dare to offend those Sky Region rankers right now. Chen Xiang stood at the top of the devil-suppressing Divine Palace and released his divine power to scout the entire city, searching for the experts hidden here. The Fire Emperor has also come, but he hasn't recovered to the peak yet. Back then, when he was injured by the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, he had already declined until now. No wonder the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord had never placed him in his eyes. Chen Xiang sneered in his heart. The strength that Fire Emperor had now was merely a saint. Different from others, this Fire Emperor had worked together with another Hel Devil Emperor before. After his death, his soul would not be able to enter the underworld. Phoenix King is here too, and Phoenix Princess is here. This aura is so familiar, it's actually him. Was a little shocked, he used the Heaven Tour method and came to a manor. He actually saw Ji Meixian. Ji Meixian and the Imperial Feather Race had a deep grudge, but she was actually very close to the Phoenix Princess right now. This little maid has become so powerful, she has already recovered her strength back then. No wonder Sister Meiyao and Sister Yu were chased by her to such a sorry state. Her strength is actually so strong. Chen Xiang was a little shocked. This Ji Meixian actually had the power to transform into the 9th cycle. Chen Xiang could clearly feel the 9 powerful auras inside her heaven pellet. Little maid, it's me. Why are you together with Phoenix Princess? Don't you have enmity with Imperial Feather Race? Chen Xiang immediately transmitted his voice to Ji Meixian. Hearing Chen Xiang's voice echo in his mind, Ji Meixian was very surprised. She anxiously looked for Chen Xiang, but was unable to find him. She could only follow the divine power and respond to Chen Xiang. That Imperial Feather Race who had enmity with me had long since been destroyed, and is from the Heaven Realm. The current Phoenix King and I have no grudges against each other, and furthermore, they treat me very well. I was the one who advised them to come and help you. The princess said that you saved her that year, so she will come when the time comes. Hearing Ji Meixian's words, Chen Xiang was moved inwardly and said, Thank you, but there's no need for that now. I can solve this problem, but the inside story is very complicated. Ji Meixian said, I've heard that these were all driven by the Sky Region. They want to take your dragon fountain. Not only that, you two don't need to do anything anymore. I'll remove both you and my master-servant contract right now. As Chun Xiang said this, his heart stirred and he removed the master-servant contract from his body. Sister Meiyao and Sister Yu are in the same heaven realm, so you should be able to recover very quickly. Ji Meixian felt that the contract had disappeared, and he felt a wave of inexplicable emotion in his heart. Thank you, but we will still be friends in the future. If you call me little maid again, I won't mind. Chen Xiang laughed. Amen. Do you have any plans for the future? Princess is now a disciple of the Flower Emperor. I have already decided to enter the Hundreds of Flowers Palace to accompany her. There are many powerful women in there. This place is most suitable for me. I had the same idea in the past. Ji Meixian said. Chen Xiang had to admit, the Flower Emperor held a very high position in the hearts of the many women in the Nine Heaven world. It was more so than the respect of many women. Joining the Hundreds of Flowers Palace would mean receiving protection, and he had already found out about the mother and daughter duo, as well as Yu Xuelian, who were currently in the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Looks like this Hundreds of Flowers Palace will become more and more powerful in the future. Chen Xiang laughed. There are a lot of people that I know. Your hand is really long. You're not afraid of the Flower Emperor going crazy. Ji Meixian chuckled. Don't think too much into it, we are friends, just like you and me. Chen Xiang felt that he was wronged. Continue playing with the princess, I still have things to do. Chen Xiang kept the divine power. Originally, Ji Meixian wanted to chat with Chen Xiang for a while longer, so she could only sigh helplessly. He continued to use his divine power to search for experts. He wanted to see if any of the experts from the realm of Flame Heaven were here, so he could get a better understanding of their strength. What a powerful devil! Where did this devil come from? Chen Xiang was shocked. He immediately retracted his G.O.D. power. He was sure that the aura was not from the few heaven realms. Just as Chen Xiang had retracted his divine power, a ball of black aura suddenly appeared behind him. Chen Xiang suddenly turned his head around, and he saw that the ball of black aura had gradually turned into a handsome and muscular middle-aged man dressed in black. Who are you? Chen Xiang and the middle-aged man asked at the same time. Both of them felt that the other was very powerful, but they did not feel any hostility. They were just very curious. Since I was the one who came, let me say, I am Bai Yao and am considered rather famous. There should be many people who don't remember me now. Bai Yao sighed. This name made Chen Xiang feel that it was extremely familiar, as if he had heard someone mention this name before. He immediately searched for memories of this name, and very quickly recalled that Bai Yu had once mentioned this name to him. You are the eldest brother of the Bai family, Bai Yu and Bai Ziqian's father. Chen Xiang's face was filled with surprise. Didn't you already die? No, that's not right, you seem to be even stronger than that time. What's going on? This powerful devil was actually Bai Yu and Bai Ziqian's father. You know my two daughters, what position do you have in the devil-suppressing divine palace? Bai Yao frowned, suppressing the killing intent in his heart. He only knew Bai Ziqian's whereabouts now, because he had been wanted for using the magical corruption gas S so far, and the main person wanted for obtaining the magical corruption gas S was devil-suppressing divine palace. To be able to recognize him, this ancient devil, he could only be an old man from the devil-suppressing divine palace. Furthermore, Chen Xiang gave Bai Yao a very strong feeling, which was why Bai Yao asked him this question. I am Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang was secretly happy for the two sisters because they had never felt his concern for him before. Since Bai Yao had such an emotion right now, it meant that he had changed a lot. This made Chen Xiang curious. What exactly made him so strong? Bai Yao looked at Chen Xiang with a face full of suspicion. Of course he was clear about the hatred between and the devil-suppressing divine palace, but right now, Chen Xiang was inside the devil-suppressing divine palace, as if he was the boss here. Bai Yao looked at Chen Xiang with a face full of suspicion. Of course he was clear about the hatred between and the devil-suppressing divine palace, but right now, Chun Xiang was inside the devil-suppressing divine palace, as if he was the boss here. Chun Xiang was really the boss of the devil-suppressing divine palace now. Seeing this, Bai Yaowei did not believe it, but Chun Xiang smiled and took out the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. The green dragon demon-slain broadsword was the best proof of Chun Xiang's ident. 1. Tai and Bai Yaowei had already believed it. He only felt that it was strange. Why are you here? If I were you, I should be prepared to evacuate the evil dragon graveyard right now. Bai Yaowei's current strength had also shocked him. In his opinion, no matter how heaven-defying Chun Xiang was, he would not be able to become so strong in an instant. I've already made arrangements. Chun Xiang looked towards the region in the distance, where the convention was going to be held. Right, how do you know about my 2 daughters? Do you know where they are? Upon hearing this, Bai Yaowei was extremely anxious, her eyes filled with intense yearning and worry. I know them. Previously, she was injured by her enemies, and her dantian was heavily injured. Now that she is in the heaven realm and recuperates from her injuries, she should be able to recover very quickly. As for Sister Ziqian, she is with the Grandma LV. Chun Xiang said in a low voice, you don't have to worry about them. They should be back in a while. When Bai Yaowei heard that his 2 daughters were safe and sound, he immediately felt at ease. Uncle, where did you go before? Uncle, where did you go before? Chun Xiang asked. Did she tell you about the ruthless devil venerable? Bai Yaowei asked. Of course I have. Could it be that you have fought against the ruthless devil venerable before? Chun Xiang looked surprised. In other words, Mei Yao is also with her. Bai Yaowei asked again. Well, they've been with me a long time. Bai Yaowei was suddenly enlightened. It seems they taught you a lot of G.O. delay skills. No wonder you used such a familiar technique in the early stage of the compet. 1 Tian. Chun Xiang asked suspiciously. Uncle, you know Sister Mei Yao too. Bai Yaowei shook his head and laughed. I am ruthless devil venerable. What do you think? This. Chun Xiang was immediately dumbstruck. The ruthless devil venerable was actually disguised by Bai Yaowei, and now he understood why both Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao thought that the ruthless devil venerable was extremely mysterious. Didn't you go to the 9 Heaven Devil Palace? Chun Xiang took a deep breath, and thought about many things in his mind. If the ruthless devil venerable was Bai Yaowei, then Ji Meixian was his niece. Bai Yaowei smiled faintly. Looks like they're relations. I+P with you isn't bad. I've told you everything. After saying that, he sighed once more. Towards Yu, I have already let her down once. Later on, in order to make up for her, I disguised myself as ruthless devil venerable. Then, because I was cultivating the ruthless magic, I became cold and heartless, almost killing the 2 of them. This broke through her heart once again, and I even said the ruthless magic to her. She's much more cheerful now. She has already given up on the ruthless magic, and she still misses you. Every time they bring up her master, she's always in a bad mood. Chun Xiang anxiously brought over a table and chair, letting Bai Yaowei sit down. Uncle, looks like you have gained a lot in 9 Heaven Devil Palace. If not, you would not have become so powerful. You should have already escaped from the ruthless magic. Seeing that Chun Xiang was about to make a move, Bai Yaowei shook his head and said, No, 9 Heaven Devil Palace is not fun at all. Even if I go in now, I will most likely die. If I find what belongs to me in there, I will be able to come out alive. The 9 Heaven Devil Palace has something of yours. Chun Xiang was puzzled. I didn't know it before, but after entering the 9 Heaven Devil Palace and seeing my original corpse, I found out that I had another ident. 1 Tai. That body contained the power of my previous life, and after fusing those powers with my soul, I became this powerful, and then I escaped from that terrifying place. Bai Yaowei thought back to the past, and his eyes revealed a trace of fear. Chen Xiang immediately understood that this Bai Yaowei was actually reincarnated by an ancient almighty being, just like White Tiger Long Shui. In the ancient era, there were only two powerful devils, the evil emperor and the demon emperor. Since the demon emperor's whereabouts were unknown, and the evil emperor had gone to the heavenly evil realm, then this Bai Yaowei in front of him was very likely to be the demon emperor. Uncle, you were the demon emperor in the 9 emperors and 5 venerables in your previous life. Chen Xiang spoke out the question in his heart. In his hands was a set of devil emperor dagger that belonged to the demon emperor. Bai Yaowei laughed. Why do you think I'm the demon emperor and not the evil emperor? Chen Xiang said, the devil arts that you possess, said on to sister you can't be anyone's. It's been so many years and none of them have been spread out. However, if you are the demon emperor, why are you a member of the devil killing summit? Bai Yaowei smiled and said, I was indeed the demon emperor in my previous life, but I am now only Bai Yaowei, the father of 2 of my daughters. So, you can keep that dagger. If you don't need it, you can give it to you or Ziqian. Chen Xiang did not need the devil emperor dagger anymore. His green dragon demon-slain broadsword was already strong enough. Uncle, your niece, do you know her? Ji Meixian was right here, and he had been searching for the ruthless devil venerable the entire time. After that, Chen Xiang told Bai Yaowei about Ji Meixian. After listening, Bai Yaowei's expression was complex, his eyes revealed a trace of grief. This child, fortunately she was able to live, otherwise I would not have had the face to face my sister in the future. She's right here with the Phoenix King. Chen Xiang told him the location, and then gave him a set of scrolls that allowed him to contact Bai Ziqian. Chen Xiang didn't mention anything about him helping Bai Ziqian, but Bai Yaowei could tell that Chen Xiang was very concerned about his 2 daughters and even that niece of his, so he wanted to help Chen Xiang as well. If you need it, I can help you save the evil dragon graveyard. This is my pearl. Bai Yaowei tossed a black pearl over to Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang took it and thanked her, but he already had other plans. Uncle, how is your relations? Hi+P with 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord? Chen Xiang did not know much about the Demon Emperor, and there were a lot of records on it in the ancient book. Not bad, could he have revived? Bai Yaowei thought that this was very possible. You suddenly became so powerful, could it be that he helped you? More or less. He and the divine craftsman have both come out. Chen Xiang said. Both Chi-S. Hi Plus and Jiang Xing have always wanted to reminisce with their old friends. It wasn't easy for them to survive after so many years. As long as they are here, I can find them. Right now, I'll go and talk to the beauty. Bai Yaowei turned into a ball of black air and disappeared. Chen Xiang looked at the sky. Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao were both in the sacred domain. He really wanted to see them recover their powers. Chen Xiang looked at the sky. Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao were both in the sacred domain. He really wanted to see them recover their powers. 9 Heaven Devil Palace, what exactly is hidden inside? Chen Xiang tightly held onto a piece of chaos fire. Just now, Bai Yaowei intentionally avoided talking about the matters of the 9 Heaven Devil Palace, so it was possible to see what he was afraid of. Devil Killing Summit, 9 Heaven Devil Palace, could these two be related? Chen Xiang really wanted to go to Devil Killing Summit right now and take a look, or fuse with 7 Chaos Fire, then summon 9 Heaven Devil Palace out. However, summoning the 9 Heaven Devil Palace would cause a lot of deaths, so the H.E.L. Devil Emperor would be even happier. Regarding 9 Heaven Worlds' consoling words, Chen Xiang felt a lot more at ease because there were already a few strong of Lord's stage that had appeared. His current strength was not weak either, but to withstand the attacks of multiple sky regions, it was still far from enough. He decided to wait until this matter was over, then he would go and find those strong 1. Tioniers who had once protected the 9 Heaven World. Hall Master, we have just received news that Hundreds of Flowers Palace has accepted the invitation. At that time, Flower Emperor will also be coming to partic. 1p8 in the convention. Su Ting said to Chen Xiang as he stood outside the door. I know, are there any more recent news? Chen Xiang asked. There's another rumor. It's said that all the major powers will be joining us. I heard that there's a starfield backing the starfields. Su Ting said again. Holy Ice Realm, Heavenly Evil Realm, Holy Thunder Sky Realm. Now there's another Stellar Sky Realm. Are 4 of them joining hands to besiege Evil Dragon Graveyard? Chen Xiang frowned. Looks like it will be very troublesome later. If there was still one more Heavenly Dragon Realm, then there would be 5. This was what Chen Xiang was more worried about. Su Ting had arranged for Chen Xiang and ident. 1. Tai, making people think that he was second only to the Lord Hallmaster. Su Ting had already become famous, and when the time came, he would not stand for the command position, but rather let the other devil-suppressing divine palace go. Once the sky brightened, Chen Xiang and Su Ting left the devil-suppressing divine palace. They sat on a large carriage and traveled along the streets, running towards the palace that was Briming with a strong pressure. On the way, Chen Xiang felt by Yaowei's aura. He was actually together with Ji Meixian, and they were sitting in a big carriage. Aside from that, Chen Xiang also sensed the aura of the Phoenix King, which means that the Phoenix Princess wasn't with them. He should be going to look for LV Qilian. Seems like they have invited a lot of experts. Even the Phoenix King is here. Chen Xiang said. They are trying to show off their might to the strong warriors of the 9 heaven world. Those people from the heaven realm told us that when the time comes, we can use all our strength to fight against the strong warriors from the heaven realm. They are very confident in themselves. Su Ting said. Chen Xiang laughed. In that case, they can tolerate the experts of the 9 heaven world defeating them. Su Ting shook his head. Even though they say that, if they were to be defeated, they would definitely become angry out of embarrassment. Chen Xiang laughed coldly. I am going to defeat them, and see what they say when the time comes. Do they really think that all the strong warriors of the 9 heaven world are dead? Su Ting did not dare to say anything. Regarding Chen Xiang's strength, it was difficult for him to figure it out, but he had a certain understanding of Chen Xiang and knew that he would not do things that he was not confident in. Entering the palace, Chen Xiang and Su Ting got off the carriage. At the side of the plaza, there were many large carts parked, and in the middle of the plaza, there was a square contest ring that was over 100 meters wide. At the side, there were many luxurious seats, and with a glance, one could see that they were all famous experts. Big Sis is here too. Chen Xiang saw Long Huishan. Along with the Dragon Da, who was born with the Ice Dragon, had actually come with him, as well as some powerful old ice dragons. Almost all of the Ice Dragon race's experts had come. After that, he looked to the other side, where more than 10 women dressed in white were seated. Flower Emperor, Phoenix Princess, LV Qinlian, Mu Qianxiang, Ji Meixian, Yu Xuelian, and the Holy Spirit Rabbit. The rest were all experts from hundreds of Flowers Palace. Master, what's going on? Why are all of them here? Chen Xiang found Huang Jintian, and she hid in the seat of the Ice Dragon race. There's no other way. Since this person invited you with such kindness, you can't not give me face. The divine blacksmith and your wives made these divine weapons, so they didn't come. Huang Jintian laughed. I didn't expect you to come here to watch the show too. You want to beat those strong warriors from the heaven realm. They probably don't know that I'm staying in the devil-suppressing divine palace. Chen Xiang asked. Of course I don't know. Who knew that you could settle the devil-suppressing divine palace so quickly? Huang Jintian saw Chen Xiang walking behind him, and understood his plan. Chen Xiang took a deep breath, because he suddenly felt 2 strong spirit qi competing with each other secretly. One of them was Qi S. Hi plus Sn Bai Yaowei's, as though he was greeting them. Bai Yaowei and Phoenix King were together with him, and both of them were with him. Last time when Chen Xiang cultivated the GODS join method with LV Qilian, he gave LV Qilian a huge benefit. After not seeing him for a few months, he realized that LV Qilian had undergone an extremely huge change. "Brat, heavenly slave is here," Huang Jintian suddenly said to Chen Xiang. Of the Divine Devil cult. Divine Devil cult was very famous in the Nine Heaven world, and his notoriety was spread far and wide. However, his powerful strength made many of the big powers dare not say a word. Su Ting's forehead was perspiring profusely, looking at the group of people dressed in black and white, especially the bald man walking in the middle. His bald head was covered with intertwining black and white lines. His entire body was releasing an extremely evil qi, causing many people to immediately retreat and not even dare to look straight at him. "That Baldy is heavenly slave." Huang Jintian sent a sound transmission to Chen Xiang. "He's looking at you too." The Divine Devil cult hated the devil-suppressing Divine Palace, so Chen Xiang felt that it was normal. After all, the power that the Divine Devil cult cultivated was of the demonic attribute, so the devil-suppressing Divine Palace was still a great threat to them. When the heavenly slave and his disciples pass, said by Chen Xiang and Su Ting, they suddenly stopped. "There are only two people in your devil-suppressing Divine Palace. Could it be that you are afraid of being killed?" The heavenly slave said in a strange tone. "So many people from your Divine Devil cult, could it be that you are afraid of being killed?" Chen Xiang sneered. Su Ting had yet to speak, but the people standing behind Su Ting had already started to provoke him, which was simply courting death. However, there were only two people from devil-suppressing Divine Palace today, which was indeed abnormal. Among the people from the Divine Devil cult, an old man said angrily, "Why are you interrupting when our sect master is talking to your head palace master?" Chen Xiang sneered. "Your sect leader, this dog heavenly slave, is not worthy enough to directly talk with our devil-suppressing Divine Palace's head palace master." Chen Xiang sneered. "Your sect leader, this dog heavenly slave, is not worthy enough to directly talk with our devil-suppressing Divine Palace's head palace master. You're courting death." The elderly man from Divine Devil cult was furious. The other disciples also followed suit and looked at Chen Xiang angrily. In the sky above the plaza, dark clouds suddenly appeared and thunder rumbled. The reason why Chen Xiang came here was to cause trouble. To be able to fight a big battle here was not good enough. Moreover, he could give a good beating to Divine Devil cult. Hallmaster Su Ting stood there with a calm and composed expression, but he was extremely worried in his heart, and cold sweat was already seeping down his back. "You want to fight on stage?" A clear and cold voice came out. The black clouds in the sky immediately scattered. The heavenly slave's eyes became red as he glared at Chen Xiang. He did not expect that this fellow would actually dare to provoke him. "Do you dare to fight on stage? The kind that would kill you?" The heavenly slave said coldly. "I will definitely accompany him. Since there's still time now, you should properly ask your GOD and let him find a new dog slave." Chen Xiang smiled faintly. "Just you wait." Heavenly slave had a bad temper. Devil-suppressing Divine Palace and Divine Devil cult had worked together before, but because of some small matters, there were some conflicts, and eventually things developed into something big. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning appeared on the large compet. Tie-in platform in the middle. A handsome man in white clothes appeared there with a dense holy aura around him. It was obvious that he was a powerful saint immortal. "Everyone, you've waited for so long, so I won't say anything polite. Everyone knows the reason why you're here today." The voice of the man in white transmitted in all directions, allowing everyone to hear him clearly. "There is a dragon vein in Evil Dragon Graveyard, and this dragon vein is birthed from heaven and earth. It should be something that everyone can have, but now that it is taken over by the Dragon Subduing School, we have to break through the Evil Dragon Graveyard, destroy the Dragon Subduing School, and share the dragon vein. After hearing that, Chen Xiang wanted to step on his face fiercely. However, we have no leader in this group, and we only have a few contradictions. Therefore, today we must choose the strongest person, the most convincing person, to be our commander. Anyone can partake. 1. P8 And when the time comes, no matter what, we must listen to that person's orders. Suddenly, a voice boomed, "What if someone doesn't listen?" A powerful surge of dragon chi accompanied that thunderous voice. Chen Xiang frowned. This was a sky dragon. If anyone doesn't listen, that is everyone's enemy. When the time comes, I will eliminate that person first. After all, with the addition of the heavenly dragon realm, it would be much easier for them to take over the evil dragon graveyard. As long as we win, everyone can do whatever they want. Another voice rang out. At this moment, everyone could sense a surge of astral energy. This should be the rumored expert of the astral realm. As long as we take the dragon fountain as the main force, we will all have to listen. The man said again. Even though two groups of people had already appeared on the square and were walking into the empty seats, there seemed to be some very powerful people there, especially those sky dragons. They did not seem to be restraining their domineering aura. Was relieved that the Dragon Emperor did not appear. He was only curious about where Long Shui was going, to actually be able to get the heavenly dragon race to bring so many dragons to Partik. 1 P8 In this conference, Chen Xiang and Su Ting sat down and waited for the battle to begin. The entire place was quiet, the atmosphere was extremely heavy, because the few forces that suddenly appeared were all too strong, pressuring the major powers of the Nine Heaven World to the point that they could not even breathe. Chen Xiang paid attention to the Fire Emperor of the Fire Divine Palace. This half-crippled Fire Emperor had a very ugly expression, because compared to the experts present, his current strength was nothing. How do you want to compete? Hurry up and tell me, don't waste your time after the compet. 1. Tian, directly attack Evil Dragon Graveyard. I have brought everyone here. Someone shouted. If you want to fight for the commanding authority, you must be very strong. There are even some who aren't equal, so if you want to fight, it will take a long time. Even if you want to fight, there must be someone who is unconvinced, because their strength is almost the same. The man said, therefore, we have decided to restrict him for a period of time. As long as we don't make a decision within the prescribed time, he will step down. As he spoke, the man took out an hourglass. Looking at the speed at which the sand was flowing back, he could predict that it would only take a single meal. For someone of similar strength, this was simply too short. There were some experts that would not be able to finish the battle even after several days. But to make others completely convinced, he needed to be very strong. If I were to step down, would I have a chance to go up again? Someone asked. We only have one chance. If both of them step down at the same time, then these two would no longer have the qualifications to fight us again. Then who's going to start first? It has been decided by drawing lots. If you plan on parting. 1. P8 Send a representative to draw lots right now. Each faction can only send 2 people to battle. Chen Xiang looked at Su Ting and indicated for him to go up to draw lots. Su Ting sent a sound transmission to him. Do I need to go up? He was a little worried that he would run into Divine Devil Cult, because Chen Xiang had infuriated him quite a bit. It's useful. Leave everything to me. You just stay here and watch. Chen Xiang smiled at him. Relax, what's there to be afraid of? At this time, many representatives of various forces had already sent people over to draw lots. Chen Xiang took note that the hundreds of Flowers Palace and Ice Dragon race that were invited did not go up. After all, they were here to help Chen Xiang. What if someone dies? An old man asked. If he were to be beaten to death in such a short period of time, then he is unworthy of living. The youth laughed. Even if we resurrect him, he probably won't have the face to continue living. The duration of the battle was very short. If the opponent was very strong and could not endure it, then the only thing to blame was whether he was too weak or not willing to admit defeat. For such a short period of time, it was usually very difficult for a person to die. It was even difficult for a victor to be determined in such a short period of time. Therefore, he had to use his strongest strength from the start. Otherwise, there was no chance of victory and he would definitely not lose. He would only end up in a draw, and the advantage was that he would not let many powerhouses suffer too much. Huang Jintian asked Chen Xiang via sound transmission, "It's really hard to beat someone up and beg for forgiveness, or even beat them down in such a short period of time. If I had to face so many strong warriors, I would be able to hold on." The standard way to win was to let the opponent die while fighting, to force the opponent to admit defeat or to kill the opponent. This was truly difficult. After the drawing of lots was done, the results were made public, causing Chen Xiang to be a little surprised. The devil-suppressing Divine Palace's opponent was the Saint Thunder Dominion, and without fighting with the Heavenly Evil Realm or the Divine Devil Cult, the devil-suppressing Divine Palace's advantage would be greatly reduced.